in maple syrup.
You know, it's funny you say that because I don't ever drink on Sundays. And yesterday after that game, I was like, I'm going out and I want a Coors Light. I want an ice-cold, all-American, light domestic beer. Let's celebrate America, baby.
Yeah. Not me. Well, yeah, I normally don't drink on Sundays either, but I did not celebrate that way. I did not. No offense to our all-American drinks. I had French wine in honor of the U.S.'s gold medal.
Not me, Georgie. Ice-cold, all-American Coors Light. That's how you celebrate that victory. That was amazing.
Why don't you go with a fine Anheuser-Busch product, Cappy? Because that's
Two
American.
Reasons. Two reasons. I thought
703, by the way. Good morning.
Quack, quack.
I thought about a Budweiser. But then, of course, our partner is Coors Light.
No,
and
your
that's
partner is Coors Light.
That's sort of my default beer,
Yeah.
Partner integrity.
That's right, partner integrity.
Partner integrity at the top of the hour.
On
of
this
the hour
Monday, the
partner.
23rd of February, 2026. What a weekend. Unless you're the Lakers trying to play the Celtics.
Oh, why did you ruin Pat Riley's statue day?
No,
the guy
no.
literally basically said bleep Boston outside.
No,
and
screw it.
and they got the one day you needed to win.
They deserve it. They deserve the beatdown today. And I'll tell you what, James Worthy yesterday evening, in the postgame show, destroyed them.
Oh, I know.
Heart.
Yeah.
An embarrassment to the uniform. Way to go, big game.
Yeah.
Tell him.
We have that audio, I presume, right?
We will effort it.
Okay.
Gonna effort it on a Monday
No, it's
morning.
okay, but we need to effort it because it is unbelievable. Like,
it's
it
great.
is so good.
It's so good.
Oh my God! Like, he just annihilated them. It was and that, big game is good for at least one or two of those a season. So like, I was like blown away at his commentary.
Well, I think, as he said, he goes, look, I'm biased. It's the Celtics. It's Pat Riley's weekend. But to show up yesterday and not put forth, I mean, a competitive effort is all you're looking for.
By the way, I don't know if we have any of that sound from the Pat Riley stuff, but Magic Johnson was hilarious during that thing. Like,
as the
it
MC
was really.
at halftime?
I mean, look, the Lakers do. We could talk about the issues they have on the court right now against good teams, but they do that stuff better than anybody. Like, there's no question that nobody does it better than them.
I was actually surprised NBC gave up the entire halftime to the Lakers,
I mean, it's
celebration
Pat
of
freaking Riley, man.
No, I got it. I got who it is. But it's still, network TV. They're like, what? You want to do what? Okay.
He also
we'll go
worked for them for a brief stint. There was
Okay.
that, too.
Well, I mean, it was the entire halftime. And Magic took up the whole thing until it was like finally time to give over to Pat.
Yeah, no, but I was talking more about the stuff outside. Like
the stuff from Saturday?
Yeah, the stuff for the unveiling. No, the morning of.
Oh, the morning of, yeah. But
Yeah.
didn't they do something Saturday night also? I saw all the
They
kinds
did
of
a
stuff on
Saturday night
social.
thing, but I'm talking about like when they unveiled the statue on Saturday. Anyhow, let's start with Team Canada. Team USA versus Team Canada, and Team Canada being sore losers. Okay? Let's start with the awesome stuff first, and then we'll get to
the not
the
so awesome
tears
stuff
of
with
maple
the
syrup.
Lakers. Yeah.
And then we'll get to the Lakers. Because, I mean, all of us were up, right? Like, I assume, because nobody had said anything in our Ice Scrapers group chat, and I was up. I didn't watch from the beginning at 5 in the morning.
didn't.
Like,
I
I got up around like 6:30, and then I turned it on, and I was like, oh boy. And or as Mickey would say, as Christopher likes to say, oh boy.
Yeah.
By the way, if you are a real sports radio host, you should have been up at 5
Should
o'clock.
have been up.
According to somebody.
Right. No excuse, George. Honestly, I'm disappointed. Honestly. You woke
Yeah,
up
I
at
don't
6:30?
care.
Come on.
Listen.
That's disappointing.
Listen, we had a busy day on Saturday with kid stuff,
no
so
excuse.
you know what?
No
I'm
excuse.
sleeping in until 6:30. So anyway, so I'm watching, and it's tight, right? So I'm in there, and then at some point, since our group chat for the hockey is named Ice Scrapers, I'm like, there's got to be a lot of people scraping in their seats watching this one, and then that's it. That got it flowing, as they say. No pun intended. And that's it. We were like locked into that particular game for the last period or so. And there were so many moments during that you just felt like, oh, my God, they're not the better team. They're clearly not as talented as these guys. And Connor Hellebuck, I believe that's how you say his name, Helly. Yeah. And he was as good as there was, especially when you consider Binnington is on the other side, who literally is the best goalie in the NHL. So, like, you're like, oh, my God, how are these guys doing this? Like, yes, luck is part of sports sometimes. And he stopped 41 of 42 42 shot attempts. I mean, do you know how hard that is to stop 41 of 42 shot attempts against a team that's clearly better than them on paper?
Not only is it hard, but I mean, there were a
couple hellebuck of a saves.
There were a couple of saves in there that were very, very fortunate, where fact is the puck got behind him.
Yes.
And he was able to somehow, some way, and a lot of it was just luck and being in the right place at the right time, was able to just barely knock it away with his stick, which, by the way, he didn't even know he did. I mean, the puck was behind him.
Right.
Then there was
the one time you're talking about, was definitely like it was complete, coincidence.
Right.
Yeah.
Then there was the puck that's flying around inside the crease, and there's the U.S. defenseman that's standing right in front of the goal, and he's kind of playing with it, like he's trying to knock it away.
Yeah.
So, listen, the Canadian team, sore losers or whatever. Look, there was no Sidney Crosby, and he's probably one of the more important players that they had.
He's no longer their best player, but he is. Yeah, he's. You know what you would say, Cappy? He's a heart and soul kind of guy.
He is that kind of guy. But you don't have Sidney Crosby, and he's hurt, so that's fine. You take him out of the equation. And the fact of the matter is that
they were still better than them, even without Sidney Crosby.
The Canadian team was better.
Yeah.
And as I'm watching this game, look, the U.S. got the goal early. And that first goal that the U.S. scored was a brilliant goal, but it was an unlikely goal.
Yes.
When this kid Boldy kind of split the two defensemen and the puck is kind of up and bouncing around and he gets it in, and you've got this 1-0 lead. But it just seemed like, in particular in the second period, that the U.S. team found themselves, George, down on a 5-3 power play for 4 minutes.
Right.
Now, the last minute 30 was the full 5 against 3. And the U.S. just fought and fought and fought. And I thought in that moment that this is a complete momentum swing in favor of the U.S. because even though they were up, they were still kind of getting hammered.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it seemed to me like it either exhausted them or it forced them to just play defense the rest of the game. And that's what they were doing. And I kept thinking to myself, this reminds me of a boxing match where one guy's really, really skilled and the other guy has no chance whatsoever other than to land a big overhand right.
This was Rocky versus Apollo.
Yes, that's it. One guy's super skilled and one guy just has heart.
Now we got Chris locked in now with the Rocky and Apollo.
Right on, of course. Right.
Yeah.
But that's just it, is that one team, the Canadian team, was the better team. They were on offense. They were getting shots off. They were controlling the puck in the offensive zone. But the U.S. was not going to give up, and they were just going to keep on fighting, keep on battling until they got what I'll call lucky enough to find themselves with an opportunity. And you remember, George, there was that one double doink
Right,
shot.
double doink, yes.
Right. You don't usually see a double doink.
Not in hockey, that's for sure.
But there was the double doink that hit off the right post and then went over to the left post and then bounced out. So you were, as the U.S. team, you were just looking for that one lucky opening. Yeah. And they ultimately found it in overtime.
Yeah, and Jack Hughes, I mean, he got destroyed earlier in the third period and lost at least a tooth and a half, if not more.
Right.
And then we saw that afterwards. But for him to be the guy, especially after getting drilled and getting his teeth knocked out, to be the guy to score the game-winning goal, the golden goal, as Kenny Albert, who did a magnificent job calling that match with Eddie Olczyk, labeled it. It was kind of serendipitous in that sense that he was the guy that actually have it done. But, man, just such a fun way to start the day. And then, the rest of the day was just kind of cool. It just felt like, oh, man, this was awesome. I mean, it's rare that we get live sports that early, and the Olympics kind of are one of the few moments, that provide that for us. And to do it in that fashion was just incredible. Now, Team Canada, they were not happy with the whole 3-on-3 overtime situation. Their coach, John Cooper, mentioned that. Let's listen to Coach John Cooper kind of cry about the 3-on-3.
You take 4 players off the ice. Now hockey's not hockey anymore. There's a reason overtime and shootouts are in play. It's all TV driven and, to end games, so there's not, a long time. There's a reason it's not in the Stanley Cup finals or playoffs because, it gets ended in 5. But it's still skilled players out there making skilled plays. And the U.S. team has some skilled players, and as do we. And they made one more play than we did in overtime, and you have to tip your cap to them. That's it's it's still a competitive nature out there, and it's different. It's different hockey. There's no question. Players are put in little different situations, but like I said, we didn't score on our chances, and they scored in theirs.
So he's not wrong, meaning that a purist, a hockey purist, feels the exact same way that he does, George. That's not hockey. You don't battle through 3 periods to then change the rules in the overtime period. Now, if you're not a hockey purist, which I don't necessarily consider myself to be.
But they weren't complaining when they won a 3-on-3 overtime earlier in the tournament.
That may be true. But here, I just want to say this. As a non-hockey purist, I actually love the 3-on-3.
Well, it's super fun.
I think it's great. It seems to make the game move faster, and there's more room on the ice. Now, again, a hockey purist might say, well, you don't understand. That's not the way hockey's supposed to be played. And you'd be right. But I'm just here to tell you that I actually thought 3-on-3 was great. But it is not necessarily purely the game that they had just played for the previous 60 minutes.
I feel like I needed a little bit more from John Cooper there. That was the Canada version of being upset about something.
Yeah, no. It was in the U.S.
Okay,
somebody
guys,
would have
don't
had.
worry. He's like, yeah, I don't really like it, but it was bad. Come on,
You
give it a
tip your
little
cap to
fire.
them, yes.
Hey. We'll go on down to Tim Hortons after that, and we'll get donuts.
Oh, look at Berkey with a Tim Hortons reference.
Wow, you're going to break out any Canadian beers brands this morning?
Yeah.
Honest?
How about a little, French Canadian, a little Maudit.
Exactly. I mean, but if you're going to do that, if you're actually going to complain about something, give us a full complaint.
You know the problem is, though, is that, Bergie, it's funny because all these U.S. players, all these Canadian players and coaches, these people have been playing with each other and against each other for their whole lives. Like, all of these guys on both of these teams have been playing juniors together, and then they played, whatever, minor leagues together, maybe collegiately at some point. These guys are the best of the best. Yeah. Call it the top 50 guys from both countries, and they've played against each other and with each other forever. So it's not like 1980 where there was this Cold War rivalry happening.
Yeah, Mike Eruzione and these college kids who came together for a few weeks in Lake Placid. You know what I mean?
All right, but I will say this about
oh, jeez. Always here, of course.
Right. But I got to say this about Jack Hughes and his brother Quinn Hughes.
Yeah.
See, George, you always talk about representation.
Yeah.
And you've said things like, hey, if there's nobody that looks like me, I'm not so into it. Let me tell you something. I cannot tell you the pride that I feel. I'm going to get serious for 30 seconds.
Okay.
The pride that I feel, not only as an American who won the gold medal yesterday, and the men and the women, but the fact that this young man, Jack Hughes, is a Jewish American, and his brother. And then there were, do you know the backstory of his mother, George? Do you know the whole story here?
I do not know.
Okay, so Jack Hughes.
Are you going to Radio Rinaldi us a second?
It's sort of Radio Rinaldi-like.
Okay, all right.
Jack Hughes' mom, she herself was a U.S. hockey person way, way, way back before women's hockey got into the Olympics.
Was a real Olympic sport, right?
Right. So she was a pioneer of women's hockey.
Yeah.
She has these 3 young boys in Orlando, Florida, George. Now, you and I both know that back when we were kids.
Not a hotbed of hockey. Yeah.
Right. Before there were the Florida Panthers or the Arizona.
Maybe they were going to Orlando Solar Bears games, the old minor league affiliate.
Perhaps that was the case. But she had these 3 boys. She was a hockey person herself.
By the way?
That's a very good poll, by the way.
Bears?
That was really good because I was really having a hard time coming up with another hockey team in Arizona.
Yeah.
The point is that when we were all
kids,
kids,
by me.
Very nice. When we were all kids, there were not hockey teams, NHL hockey teams, in warm weather climates.
Correct. Yes.
Okay, there was no Florida.
LA was
no
like
Tampa.
the only one, right?
There was no Arizona. So here's the thing. She has these 3 boys. They're all in Orlando, Florida. She's a hockey mom. She decides to move the kids up to Canada because she wants her kids to play high-level competitive hockey.
Right.
And then she winds up moving them from Canada down to Michigan. All 3 of the boys become first-round draft choices. The oldest brother was like the 4th overall pick. Jack was the first overall pick, and then the younger brother, who wasn't even on the U.S. team, I think he was the 4th overall pick. Can you imagine 3 kids who are all first-round players drafted in the NHL, and all 3 are NHL players?
Right.
So the mom has a lot to do with their story and her involvement in USA Hockey. And then, listen, I'm just going to be honest about it. Look, in the world that we're living in right now, and with all the anti-Semitism that we have all seen on television over the last few years in particular, to have this young man be a Jewish American and score this goal and become the hero to this team. And by the way, his brother was heroic with a previous game with a game-winning goal.
Correct.
I cannot tell you, George, you have described to me your pride when you see a Hispanic player play in the NFL, play in the NBA, what have you. A Jewish kid becomes the Olympic hero? I'm telling you right now how much more pride I had yesterday. It wasn't just the USA winning. It was this young man, Jack Hughes, becoming the hero. And it was just awesome.
Yeah. There is another cool story that I think we should get to at some point about what the Hughes brothers did for another member of Team USA
yes.
that has gotten a lot of grief over the years as one of the best players in the sport. So we can get to that a little later. And we heard the Valvoline drop there.
Yes, indeed. It's 7:18 in the morning, and you know what you could have done in those 18 minutes? Gotten yourself a lube job. You could have gone to Valvoline Instant Oil Change, home of the 15-minute drive-through oil change. Visit SoCalOilChange.com for a location near you. Now, I know a lot of people in the YouTube chat are losing their mind.
About
Why?
what?
Because we're not talking Lakers Celtics. Here's the thing.
Oh, my God,
Hold on for a
dude. We
second.
won the
I'm
gold medal for the first time since I was in diapers.
I wasn't even in diapers. I wasn't born yet.
Weren't
Right.
thought about.
Oh, I might
It's
have been
okay.
thought
We've
about.
got
3 years in advance?
You know what?
Really?
The YouTube chat, you guys are obnoxious.
Wait,
And here's
I
the
can't
other thing.
believe they would be complaining this early. The number one story in
It's
the
not,
country.
Well, I don't know if it's number one in Los Angeles. I would say
I
it's
understand,
three,
Chris,
three.
but you know what? We have a whole hour, 2
I'm
hours.
defending you.
No,
What's
screw
one and
them.
two?
Okay, screw them.
Number
okay?
2 is LAFC beating Messi and Inter Miami
Okay, here's the thing.
at a 75,000 people packed Coliseum.
We
which
have
looked awesome.
so much time to talk about the Lakers. We actually did briefly mention the Lakers earlier.
We did.
Just to at least wet the beak, as
We
you like
teased
to
it.
say.
We stuck
Okay?
it in just a little bit and said, hey, there's the topic insertion. Now we're going to go somewhere else.
Relax, man. Okay? Like, that was cool. Like, I know people. I talked to 1 million people yesterday, okay? At different
That's a lot
points
of
of the day.
people.
I did a lot. Not 1 million, but you get my point.
It's a lot of people.
I was all around town. I was doing stuff. We had a party at the house yesterday. Everybody, men, women, everybody I knew was talking about this gold medal game, okay? Everybody. Because it was on in the morning, and it's rare you have stuff in the morning. So you know what? It's okay to talk about it for 18 minutes. Not even 18 minutes, because we talked about a few other things at the top. So what, 15 minutes? It's okay to dedicate 15 minutes to history.
Yeah, I got news for everybody. Like on Friday when you guys were out, on Friday it was kind of like, hey, should we be talking Olympics first, or should we talk about Lon Rosen joining from
Lon
the Dodgers
Rosen.
to the Lakers? And
Lon
Lon
Rosen.
Rosen became our lead story.
That is the lead
it was,
story.
It was, right. And today...
Why, are you questioning whether that's the lead story?
No, that
what
was the lead story on Friday, Lon Rosen. Sure, no question.
No, here's what I'm getting at. Today, for anybody that's griping that we're starting with USA Hockey over the Lakers and the Celtics, I'm here to tell you something right now. You're wrong. The lead story today is USA winning gold for the first time since 1980 in overtime against rival Canada. It is the lead story today. So I know we're going to get to the Lakers, but by the
We're
way,
going to spend hours on the Lakers today.
so I'm just here to tell you guys, I disagree. The lead story today is USA winning gold medal in hockey. No
Dude,
question in my mind.
First Take never talks hockey. Is doing hockey today, okay? First Take, Stephen A. Smith is talking about hockey right now.
I know, and people might say, but this is Los Angeles. The lead
I
story is the
understand,
Lakers.
but
I disagree.
Stephen A. Smith is always going to lead with the NBA on a day like today. Always, okay? And he's talking hockey, all right? Like, because it never happens. So I don't care what the YouTube chat says. The YouTube chat, you exist because of us, okay? Not the other way around.
You guys got that?
The rest
guys
of
hear-
the audience, it makes us exist. The miscreants in there, no. Our show, if you want a show, tell us where. If you have a show, tell us where to listen, and you can tell us how
that's a
it's
good
done.
line. That was my line in there earlier. That was good. That was good.
You have a show, tell us where it is. We'll
Yeah,
go
send
watch
me a
it
link.
and show us how it's done.
Yes, let me know. USA. Right.
What I'm talking
Numero uno. Far and away the lead story.
Now we'll get to the stinky Lakers who can't beat anybody good.
They can't. And I think some questions have to be made about one individual. And I know it's going to get Sedano mad, but I'm going to go right into the fire.
Do it.
I'm going to take
Do
one
it.
for the team.
Do it.
That's in 3 minutes from right now. on the Sedano and Kap Morning Show on a Monster Monday on ESPN LA.
The Sedano and Kap Morning Show. We'd like to thank our founding partner,
Providence. Providence, caring with compassion in Southern California.
This is the Sedano and Kap Morning Show.
Looking for paint that actually lasts? Vista Paint delivers expert quality, rich color, and pro-trusted durability, backed by over 60 years of experience. From your home to your next big project, we've got you covered. Vista Paint, since 1956.
Come on. No! It's just a golf lesson, champ. Loosen up.
I can't. See that Hyundai Santa Fe?
Yeah.
I only paid.
Finish up on your own. I gotta run.
Deal's so right, it almost feels wrong. The Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Get 0% APR for 60 months, plus 0 payments for 90 days on select Hyundai vehicles. See your SoCal Hyundai dealer. Offers end March 2nd. Call 714-568-7676 for details.
At Uline, they know firsthand the road to success is an uphill climb. Uline started in the family basement, and through hard work is now North America's most trusted shipping and industrial supplier. They get what it means to have the support of reliable, hardworking partners. So they keep 41,000 items ready to ship. Whether your company is still in a basement office or expanding cross-country, Uline will be there on your road to success. Visit uline.com.
Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver Card. So let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything. The Capital One Saver Card is at table 27, and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, Chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu.
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver Card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game.
Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
The Sedano and Kap Morning Show, presented by Call Jacob and Jacob Emrani.
The new phone number, 800-345-6789.
My guy, your guy, Cappy's guy, the great Jacob Emrani.
800-345-6789. With a new phone number, 800-345-6789.
7:25, good morning. It's also a Michael McDonald Monday.
Oh.
Michael McDonald singing the national anthem last night before Lakers Celtics. He was also at the Pat Riley statue unveiling.
Boys.
They're boys. Hit it, Michael McDonald. 70 and I were in the car on the way back from Riviera, round 4, headed to the Dog, Cappy, for dinner, right? When our phones exploded.
Yeah.
From everybody who was inside the arena seeing Michael McDonald do the national anthem. Everyone, yacht rock for life! Meanwhile, let me tell you this real quick before we get to the Celtics beating down the Lakers. Tune into DeMarco and Travis all week for your chance to win a pair of tickets to Pechanga Resort Casino's annual wine festival and Chocolate Decadence. I thought Chocolate Decadence was in the afternoon. Anyway, on Saturday, March 7th, when you hear the cue to call, get ready to sweet talk your way. Hey, everybody. Get ready to sweet talk your way into a night of chocolate and wine. Visit Pechanga.com for tickets and details. Cheers. Also, shout out to LAFC. Beating down Messi and Inter Miami Saturday night at the Coliseum. 3-0.
3-0. They were chanting in the stadium.
Exactly.
It was awesome.
Too bad the
awesome
Lakers
to see on TV.
Too bad the Lakers couldn't keep up that intensity yesterday afternoon.
What
Countless
intensity?
bums.
Which intensity are you talking about?
Beating down the Celtics on
Well, let me
Pat
tell you.
Riley's statue day.
What you mean getting beat down by the Celtics?
Yeah, they couldn't beat down the Celtics. That's what I just said.
Yeah. You know what the thing is, though, George, is that when you look at the Lakers and the game that they played coming out of the All-Star game against the Clippers.
Right. But the Clippers are not as good as the Celtics.
Well, but the Clippers are also not the Clippers that made this dramatic comeback from where
Correct.
they started 6-21.
Yes.
You know, they traded James Harden, and obviously you can deduct those 30 points. They traded Zubats, and that guy's a beast, and he's a monster, and he changes the game, especially as he has many times against the Lakers. So this is not the Clipper team that made this dramatic turnaround. So while we're all impressed because we go, hey, the Clippers are pretty good, and Kawhi's having this great year, and this looks like a good win, it is a good win, but we have to remember the Clippers are not who they were pre-Harden trade, pre-All-Star, and pre-trade deadline. So I think a lot of people may have gotten confused like, oh, hey, wow, the Lakers, wow, what a win. Ooh, wow, they beat the Clippers. The Clippers weren't the Clippers from 2 weeks earlier.
Right, and Kawhi still almost, and had Kawhi not had to come out of the game, who knows how that ends up turning out.
Yeah, but as of yesterday, man, it's one of these things where you've got Pat Riley getting his statue. And I got it. I understand. The players were not even born when Showtime was happening. I get it. But you have to have some sense of the history, and I'm sure they do. So you got Pat Riley getting his statue. You've got Magic Johnson and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and all the great Showtime players, James Worthy, et cetera. They're all there for the halftime ceremony. And that's the effort.
Well, and again, as I mentioned, they had been there all day because they had the unveiling of the statue earlier in the day.
Mm-hmm. And that's the effort. And by the way, you think to me, hey, well, what, you're calling out their effort? You're calling out the fact that they weren't playing with any heart, with any guts? All I know is this, is that James Worthy said it 100 times better than I could say it, and James Worthy got 1,000 times more credibility than I got. Yeah. James Worthy destroyed them last night. After
so, George, sound-wise, where do you want to go? We've got Magic at the
No, go Worthy. Go Worthy in the postgame if you've got it.
Let's play James Worthy after the game.
Yeah.
No heart. Weak. No heart, weak. And it's post-All-Star, and we talked about what they needed to do before All-Star. I think they didn't achieve what they wanted to there. So now you get a break and they come back. Clipper game, okay. That was a tough game. They won. But tonight, this afternoon, was weak. It's the Boston Celtics. Okay, no Tatum. You're at home. You're in fifth place. You're trying to move up. You show really, to me, no respect for the uniform. Okay, when you come out and you get out rebounded, offensive rebound after offensive rebound, Pritchard, Jaylen Brown, you can sniff out weakness. Okay, when you do that, you can just dominate. That's what they did. They've got to decide who they want to be.
Sniff out weakness.
He's not wrong.
No respect for the uniform.
I mean, he's not wrong in this sense. Okay, Here's what I would say. I do think that their effort at times, particularly at the end, I wouldn't question their effort throughout the game because they were trying, but at the end they clearly gave up because they knew that it was a fait accompli at that point.
Oh,
but they're not better than those Celtics. They're just not.
Without Tatum.
Even without Jason Tatum, they are not better than them because the Celtics dismantled them, okay? It wasn't just like, hey, the Celtics were better on one end, then the Lakers are better than the other end. No. This was not anything but the Celtics are the more complete team. The Celtics are a team that, yes, even though they don't have all the pieces like Jason Tatum and Kristaps Porzingis and Drew Holiday, who won a championship for them. Many of the guys on this roster won a championship, though. Okay, so those guys understand what it takes to win games post All-Star break, to what Big Game James was mentioning. But the intensity is one thing, but the Lakers offensively could do nothing against a superior and what I would say is borderline elite defensive team, okay? And then on the other side, okay, their defense was absolutely annihilated. As good as they had played in a stretch of, I don't know, let's call it 10, 12 games, because JJ, out of necessity, would go to a zone and mix it up, with their man-to-man principles. And, it's not like they were, this wasn't a college game, for them the last 10 or 12. Like Syracuse used to sit in a zone with Jim Boeheim, right? Like they weren't sitting in a 2-3 zone for the whole possession. They'd mix in zone probably in like the middle of the possession. That would give them those few seconds to be able to catch their bearings and defend at a fairly good level, okay? And Boston dismantled it with their shooting, like just dismantled it. So then they were really up the creek because they're like, oh, this little wrinkle we've been throwing in for, 6-7 seconds, no pun intended, during possessions to give us an ability to kind of reestablish where we should be defensively with our principles. That didn't even work because they just picked that apart.
Let me tell you something. If you were to tell me today or last night, hey, Jaylen Brown's going to have a really big game, I'd be like, yeah, okay, we would expect that. Jaylen Brown's having an incredible season. Right. If you're following along, you know that.
Yeah.
But what I wasn't expecting was Peyton Pritchard, who is a good player. He averages 17 points per game. He put up 30 on the Lakers. And it wasn't just the point total, George. It was how he scored the points. He humiliated Austin Reeves. You guys know I'm a huge Austin Reeves fan. Okay? Humiliated Austin Reeves. Was able to easily just dribble right around him at any point. Had made all these moves. And I think it was Pritchard also who put Jared Vanderbilt on his ass.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. It was an embarrassment.
Yeah.
The defense, for all the talk about how bad the Lakers' defense is, it was on full display yesterday.
Yeah.
Not with Jaylen Brown, with Peyton Pritchard. That kid ate them for lunch from outside, driving through the lane. That kid could do everything he wanted to do on the floor, and there was nobody on the Lakers that could stop him. And here's another thing.
And by the way, they tried everything they could, to your point, to stop Jaylen Brown. Like, they threw the kitchen sink at him. And, yeah, he had a really inefficient night, but he still, absolutely annihilated him when annihilated them when it mattered down the stretch.
Just crushed him. And then here's the other thing. The Lakers bench is you know how last year when JJ only played 5 guys in the playoff game, I was like, the rest of you guys forget it.
Yeah.
There's no reason to bring anybody
We're going
off
down
the bench.
that path again.
Yeah, because there's nobody. Listen, it is exciting to see Jake LaRavia with a dunk that we don't expect from Jake LaRavia, but that's your contribution. That's it, is one exciting dunk. The rest of these guys that come off the bench, they're completely ineffective. They don't score. They don't defend. There's nothing on the bench to help. And so
it was incredibly, just brutal roster construction.
It just, though, yesterday, the one thing is this. On a day where Pat Riley's getting a statue and you're celebrating the history of this organization, on a day where Magic and Kareem and Big Game and all of their guys are there, if nothing else, the one thing you expect at home against your organizational rival, with all of the pomp and circumstance that's going on around you, you're just looking for 120% of effort. You lose, you lose. They lost to a significantly better team without their best player, and that should just show everybody. Listen, we're talking about the future of this team, George. Last week, I know we had a lot of conversation about what's going to happen to LeBron. Then there was some talk about might the Lakers want to bring him back. Why? And it's not, again, it's not LeBron. It's just that you've got to prepare this team for the future, and he's not the long-term part of it.
No, I get that.
I want to ask Sedano a question, but before I get him really upset and he explodes, why don't you tell us about our friends at LAX real quick?
Oh,
is he going to explode?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'll be there soon.
Can't wait. Oh, this is going to be great.
I'll be there soon. This week, headed back to LAX because change is in the air at LAX. Los Angeles International Airport's automated people mover trains are rolling soon as part of LAX's ongoing investment to improve your travel journey. The new trains will quickly move guests between all terminals, the new consolidated rental car center, metro trains and buses, economy parking, all in 10 minutes or less. That's round trip, all right? And departing every 2 minutes, they'll help approximately 30 million passengers per year. So that congestion in the bowl, that'll be going away pretty soon here. So learn more at this website, lawa.org/ESPN. That's lawa.org/ESPN.
Thank you, Sedano. 7:36 in the morning.
All right, here we go.
I fully know that I might be called a simpleton, a moron, and have lazy takes. But I got to ask you, George.
Yeah.
As the page turns to a new chapter of Lakers basketball, we mentioned Juan Rosen on Friday taking over for Tim Harris.
Right.
Once LeBron is gone, whether that's 2 seasons from now, next season, what makes us all believe that J.J. Redick should be the head coach?
Well, I mean, what makes you think that J.J. Redick shouldn't be the head coach? I'll answer your question with a question.
The performance of yesterday.
Okay, but come on, man. We just talked about there's literally nobody on this roster.
Well,
like, what are you
LeBron,
talking
Austin
about?
Reeves, Luka.
Come on, Chris. They're not. Chris.
You can't get ramped up to at least play the game?
Chris.
Get him.
Chris.
Good call. Way to go. Way to
Look
go,
at the
Ramos. Good
teams
job.
that were in the finals last year, okay? Those teams had guys that you could play at least 1 through 10. At least 1 through 10, okay?
So let me bounce back with another question.
No, wait.
Why should he be the head coach? What has earned
Chris,
him that spot?
Get him.
Silence.
Get him.
The adults are speaking.
Silence.
Okay.
No, I would love to know.
Can I talk? It's my show.
Because I know LA's on my side with this one.
I just told you, if you look at the two teams that made the finals last year, okay, they have guys they can play, like not just like cursory minutes, like legit 1 through 10, if not in OKC's case, hell, they may have 12, okay, that they could play legit minutes. This Lakers team, okay, if you look at the team, all right, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe on some days 5 with Rui, guys that you can play. Like 5 guys that you could play. They have the single worst center room in the entire sport, okay? No deterrent at the rim, okay? Probably not the best effort night in and night out from that position, okay? That is a purely roster construction issue, okay? The fact that JJ has these guys, Brian Windhorst told us week 1, this team is not as good as their record says they are, okay? Right now, if you look at their record, okay, 34-22, okay? 34-22 with a roster of maybe 5 playable players, okay? To Cappy's point earlier, how they played 5. They are the 5th seed in the Western Conference. In a Western Conference that's been as difficult as it's been maybe in decades, okay? And you want to sit here and blame the coach when they might have 5 playable players? 5, maybe, on a good day.
Well, one of those 5 is the guy responsible, or the guy. Oh, that's right. Them doing a podcast had nothing to do with it. So let's just say,
Chris,
when that
let
one
me
guy
ask you a
goes,
question.
why should JJ be the coach?
Do you respect Chris? I just gave you the answer. So
I know.
If you're too dense,
why?
if you're too dense to
why
understand,
does that mean he earns the head coaching spot? If you're going to change out the GM, you're going to change out the
Chris,
entire
they're
front office.
34-22. Like, think about that. This roster stinks. You don't think the coach? I mean, the coach actually got them to look like a decent defense
Not
for
yesterday.
the last 12 games.
Not yesterday.
You could argue the coach has them playing way above their heads.
You could
100%.
But why does that justify him keeping the job?
Because Chris,
Lost year, remember?
Get him, George.
They're just not good.
Wait, no, hold on.
So
Chris,
they're
not a good
So
team.
they're just not good with Luka and LeBron and Austin Reeves. They're just
Chris.
not good now. They're
Chris,
just not good.
That's what
Chris,
we've
been telling you that all season long.
So why keep LeBron? Why
Brian
even keep him
Windhorst,
this long?
you're
So
the
then
one-
Bergie was right 5 years
Silence.
ago to say get rid of LeBron.
Silence.
God,
Bergie was right that we should have gotten rid of LeBron and got something for him.
Can I talk, though? Like, you want
Get
to
him,
ask me
George.
questions and don't let me speak.
Go ahead
Get
and
him.
speak.
Come on.
Will you shut up, though, for a few minutes?
I am, but you got to understand, behind me, Lindsay, the LeBron apologist, is telling me how I don't know what I'm talking about.
Okay, but here's what you're doing.
Well, you're dense.
I'm
dense.
trying my best to not be, like, get really upset at
get upset.
7:40 something in the morning.
7:40 a.m. Yeah.
But you're
7:41
just being a
Thank you.
like you're being
Dense.
no. Well, you're clearly being dense because I've already explained to you how bad this roster is. So clearly, coaching is not the issue. If they have a bad roster and
So
they're
that means
34
Pelinka should go, right?
Chris,
Uh-oh.
I don't
Well,
know.
I don't know. Whose fault is it? It's not JJ's fault. It's
Right,
not
but
Pelinka's fault. Whose fault?
This is an
Is it LeBron's
organizational decision to punt on this season. Okay? I'm sure the general manager would not care to punt on a season when he knows that there's a new ownership group coming in. But clearly, as we've discussed ad nauseum, because this isn't like the first time we've had this conversation, but clearly we've discussed ad nauseum that this franchise has decided this season is a gap year. Okay? So that's not really anyone's particular fault other than whoever you want to blame at the top, and whether that's the Bus family or the Guggenheim Group or the collection of the two, they have realized this team has gone as far as it's going to go. Let's see what this is. Very similar to the Dodgers when they were paying Scott Kazmir to not play for them, et cetera, for a couple of years, and guys like that. Very similarly, that's how they're handling this. So if you just took a second to listen to the conversations we've literally had over, I don't know how many days now has the season been going on, 4 months, then you would have your answers.
But instead, just to be clear, I'm writing notes here.
Cap.
Yeah.
Let the adults speak about sports.
Silence.
There's Dents.
So Palinka said that they were going to be scary after the All-Star game.
I did not say jerk face today, nor
no,
any of those other things.
Not today.
I feel like I was much more tame today.
No, you were fine.
I'm keeping a list.
So Palinka said in that sound we had that they were going to be scary after the All-Star break. They lost by 22 points last night. Is that scary?
They look scared.
Yeah, very scary. Yeah, they did. They looked scared. It was scary.
So again, I ask: is it
but
Palinka's fault?
let me ask you a question.
JJ's fault? Whose fault?
Let me ask you a question. And I'm not comparing their ceiling to the Dodgers. Okay. But you also have to understand, and I get it. Like, I think that's one of those games yesterday that, even I started like, come on, you can't lose like that, because that's never fun. But over an 82-game sample, much like over a 162-game sample, you're going to have some games that you're going to be like, ugh, that one you throw in the garbage.
That
you know
one
what I'm saying?
But that can't happen yesterday, George.
I get
it. Just cannot happen.
I get it, and I'm with you. We are in agreement there. But what I will say to you is this, like, to make these, like, Chris is trying to make this, like he's trying to sit here.
Look, maybe it's Lawrence Tanter's fault, the PA guy. Maybe it's his fault.
Yes, no, he's got his part of the responsibility.
Yeah, maybe it's on him.
Trying to act like
he got to go too now. Right.
Like this is some revelatory take he's got today.
Maybe it's Michael Roth, the head of AG and
Michael
LA
Roth,
Live. That's
gone.
I saw him in some of the Pat Riley photos.
Yeah,
maybe
gone.
It's his fault
It's
they
his
lost
fault
by
too.
22 points.
It's his fault as
I
well.
mean, just to Chris's point a little bit, I actually agree more with Sedano. It's roster construction more, and I blame Palinka fully in all of that. But at the same time, this has been every good team this season. This isn't just a one-off game. This is anybody at the top has been bad.
But but that's why we know where they are. Like, we've said this the whole season. Remember, I told you the stat. They hadn't beat – it was like, I don't know, 12 games in a row that they hadn't beat anybody that when they were the underdog in the game or something like that. Like, they're – against the spread, when they're the underdog, they're 8-15 this year against the spread when they're the underdog. Like, they're the most predictable team to bet against in the sport, maybe. Like, and that's hard, okay? Like, to be – 8-15, a 33 win percentage when they're the underdog against the spread. Like, that's hard.
But Chris, I think that you started with the wrong person. Seriously, like, you want to blame JJ for a lack of effort yesterday, or you want to blame JJ for the way the team looked yesterday. You're at home, Pat Riley, Showtime Lakers, Celtics, national TV. You got to put out your absolute best effort in that game. By the way, just again, one thing we're not harping on enough is the fact that Jason Tatum was not in this game. So if Jason Tatum,
but Jason Tatum hasn't played all year,
I know,
and Jaylen Brown is playing like an MVP this year.
But my point is that their best overall player who's injured and still not back from injury, what if they would have had him? Then how much more outmanned are they? So here's the thing.
But here's what I would also say.
What's that?
I mean, Jason Tatum is the more gifted player than Jaylen Brown, but is he their best player? I mean, Jaylen Brown won the MVP in the finals that year.
All right, I'll tell you what. Let's just add Jason Tatum and not declare that he's the best player.
Okay? But that's kind of my point. Like, we need to start showing respect to Jaylen Brown.
Jaylen Brown, respect to you. But if they had Jason Tatum, think about how much better and how much more firepower they have. So the Lakers are not good enough.
Maybe it's Magic's fault since he didn't draft him. And he drafted Lonzo Ball instead. Maybe it goes back to Magic.
Listen, but you know what? Let's go back to the Palinka thing, because I do think
that's the point.
Should we get back to it after we take a timeout?
Yeah, but that's the point, though. Right there. Hold that thought, because you blame JJ and think that why should he hold the job? Really, the question should be, what makes you think that Palinka should be the guy to put it together going forward?
And I will give you, how about a dissenting opinion for those of you, and just to play devil's advocate, I don't know what the answer is on that, but I will give you a dissenting opinion and play devil's advocate on Palinka for it.
That's back in 3 minutes. By the way, Cap, you got to give me credit.
Yeah, very good.
It's like at Disneyland, that whale mouth.
Right.
The whale mouth in Fantasyland.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great ride.
Is it Fantasyland?
The storybook. The storybook one.
I rode that little boat right into the mouth of the whale.
Yes, you did.
I wasn't scared.
No. And by the way, as you said from the beginning, you were going to take one for the team because you knew that you would be on the receiving end.
Because we had to create content, or you would have spent another segment talking about Team USA.
That's right. USA. USA. And my Hebrew brother, the Quinn brothers.
7:47 on a Monday. A Michael McDonald Monday. We'll answer whatever Sedano teased and more about Rob Pelinka and JJ next on the Sedano and Kap Morning Show.
This is the Sedano and Kap Morning Show.
And straight to the championship with a brand new truck from Northridge and Wonders Toyota. Lease a brand new 2025 Tacoma for just $84 a month for 36 months plus tax, only from Northridge and Wonders Toyota. You got a trade-in? Your ride could be worth more than you think. So get in the game with Northridge and Wonders Toyota. They make it easy.
2025 Toyota Tacoma 2.4L Turbo, model 7162G, VIN number 32YJDAHN 1ST037657. Lease excludes tax, title, license, registration fees, dealer options, and charges. $59.95 due at signing.
It's going to be all right. Keep your head up.
Not sure what to do this week? The answer is always Cosm.
Here's your Cosm calendar for the week of February 23rd. Visit Cosm.com to lock in your tickets for spectacular showings of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory with a free dessert, The Matrix, Oh by Cirque du Soleil, Big Wave, and the double feature Orbital and Liquid Verse, all in shared reality where the screen wraps around you and literally pulls you in. There's also a full menu of local food favorites, craft cocktails, and beers to enjoy at all the games, movies, and events, and the Cosm deck offers incredible views and is perfect for a date night. If you're a WWE fan, enter the Elimination Chamber, where you are dead center in all the action. On Sunday morning, arrive early for intense Premier League as Arsenal and Chelsea hit the pitch at 8:30 a.m. Visit Cosm.com to lock in your tickets for great Cosm events like these. Visit Cosm.com right now for a list of all games, events, and showings. Hurry before your event is sold out. That's Cosm.com.
That's your Cosm calendar.
Out on the course, they're the PGA Tour's best players. But in the arena, they're prime time. And Season 2 of TGL presented by SoFi is back with lights, cameras, action. We're talking big moments, big personalities, big names in the stands, all on the big screen. Big-time matchups with shot clocks, hammer drops, timeouts, overtime, and playoffs. It's city versus city, squad versus squad. The sport just hits different under the lights. It's TGL presented by SoFi. Keep up. It's golf. Tune into every match. Only on ESPN.
Switching to Progressive is a game-winning call. And that reminds us of other game-winning calls in the history of sports.
So it was the fourth quarter and we're down by 5. Sweat pouring down my face. Suddenly it hit me. If only I could wrap part of the towel around my forehead. And that's how I became the first basketball player to wear a headband.
Okay, not really a game-winning call, but it was a good call. You can make one too. Switch to Progressive and you could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
The Sedano and Kap Morning Show is on.
So, I don't know, I'm feeling a little weird.
George Sedano.
Hence why you're a badass. Hence why you're a chingong.
Scott Kaplan.
Not like depressed or anything, just a little weird.
More Sedano and Kap right now.
Oh, 7:50 on a Monday. A Michael McDonald Monday.
Yeah.
Michael McDonald sang the national anthem, was at the Pat Riley statue unveiling yesterday afternoon. Friends with Pat Riley. Kind of like George Sedano, friends with Riles. You know who's not friends with Riles?
Yeah.
At Lakers' performance yesterday.
LeBron?
No, LeBron and him are good.
I saw that hug. LeBron had to, bend over.
Before we get back to Pelinka and this Michigash, let me read this. Join the Sedano and Kap Morning Show live this Friday at Vision Works in Fullerton from 7 to 10 a.m. Come hang out with the Sedano and Kap Morning Show crew. That's us. For a chance to win upcoming basketball tickets. We don't have to say basketball. They're Lakers tickets. Score exclusive Sedano and Kap t-shirts. By the way, I will post that. The prints for the 4 shirts that we'll be handing out on Friday. Exclusive. You can only get them on Friday. And take advantage of 60% off a complete pair of glasses at Vision Works. It's all happening this Friday in Fullerton. We'll see you there.
All right. Nice. So, George, what we were talking about was this. Morales says he wonders why J.J. Redick should remain on as coach of the Lakers.
First off, they hired him.
Yeah.
After everything is transitioned. I'm not saying right now. I'm saying if you're hiring Lon Rose,
okay, let me. Okay, do you trust Pat Riley?
Yeah.
You trust Pat Riley, right?
Yeah.
Go find the Pat Riley sat at that podium yesterday and was asked about J.J. Redick and was glowing about J.J. Redick yesterday.
Well, he's
about
not going to rip J.J. Redick on statue unveiling.
J.J. Redick was getting the team ready for a game, dude. What are you talking about?
Well, no, they weren't very ready for the game, as apparent by their performance.
Chris, don't be an idiot.
Don't be a jerk face.
Don't be a jerk face.
We got idiot.
Don't be a jerk face.
So again, you never can just answer the question, right? Like it's always got to be like some snarky remark about something
Pat
else.
Riley said he was great. Okay.
Yeah, so you trust him, right? He chose a guy.
Jeannie Buss should have hired him a long time ago to come back to the organization.
He chose a guy. Well, she tried allegedly, and he ended up stealing Shaq at that time. So there was that. But I think maybe there was even another time where she tried. But nonetheless, he seems to think that JJ's going to be a really good coach and thinks he's a good coach already. Said so in front of the media yesterday when he was at his press conference after the statue unveiling. And I don't know. I mean, he's done a pretty good job in his history of picking coaches afterwards, right? Like,
I mean, in fairness, though, right, George, to Chris's point, though, what was he going to do? I mean, what's Bradley going to do? Go, hey, I think J.J. Redick's a terrible
Let me
coach.
tell you something. You know what Pat Riley could have done? He could have said, "Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen really that much of him." He could have just dodged the question.
That would have been the headline, though. If he said that, that's not fair to J.J. Frank.
I mean, he watches basketball every week.
I mean, he wasn't take a shot.
This guy. I mean, Pat doesn't mince words. He's not going out of his way to give people credit. They doesn't
so that's
think
fine.
they're good
JJ's
at
a good
what
head
they do.
coach, according to Pat Riley. Let's take that at that. That's fine. Why should he be the head coach of the Lakers moving forward?
Even at 80 years old, Grandpa Pat at this stage is not just giving out praise for no reason.
Fine, that's fine. Why do Lakers fans feel that JJ has earned being the coach of this team?
This team stinks, and
So
they're
now it
34-22 in a tough Western Conference. But if you watched basketball outside of the Lakers, you would understand how difficult this conference is.
So why didn't we get rid of LeBron 2 years ago and get something for him?
I don't know, Chris. Talk to the people that make those decisions.
So who makes those decisions?
What I'm telling you is this.
So
okay?
Why can't you answer that question? Who made that decision?
Because we don't know who's making the decisions. Because
Rob
they're
Pelinka's
basically
not the person. Jeannie Buss isn't the person.
God damn! Will you shut up?
Well, I just don't. I'm asking you questions. You're not replying.
Because I'm trying to, but you're just asking more questions.
It didn't take long for him to take the bait, right, Bergie?
Oh man,
I was able to get him.
You got him. I mean, you
There was
got
a
him.
slamming of his
Yeah,
hand.
I was able to get him.
Listen, he's emotional. You got to understand. Pat Riley got his statue yesterday.
This has nothing to do with that. You're just obnoxious, bro.
That's the point.
Yeah.
Holy moly!
Nobody can give Laker fans answers. They just keep saying, "Oh no,
because
it's
Chris,
all good. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good." We don't know basketball. It's all good.
Clearly, you know the answer. So go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Keep going.
I'm just asking simply, why do we think JJ should be the long-term head coach? That's all I asked. I didn't say he shouldn't be. I just said, why should we believe that? Based on yesterday's performance and several performances this year.
You've asked the same question 6 times, and every time I try to answer, you start making snarky remarks and don't let me finish.
I've let you finish quite a bit. It's your show.
So, not today. I mean, it's your show, clearly.
Okay.
So if you know, then you tell us. I'll sit back, I'll put my feet up, and let you go.
Well, I agree with
Let's both put our
Berkey
feet up. Go ahead.
when he said 2 years ago we should move on from the LeBron business, so we don't end up at a
Okay,
point.
but now you're just rehashing stuff. You're not even.
So your point is that the roster
You're
is
not
complete.
even staying, but you're not even staying on the topic that you're bringing up. Like, this is why you're not ready to do this. This is why JT the Brick is right. You're just a bit boy.
Okay.
You're not an actual talk show host.
I'm not trying to be a talk show host.
Well, you're clearly trying today.
I'm asking you questions.
No, but you're not letting the person answer. When you're a
Go
host and you ask a question, you should just sit back and be, all right, let me listen to what they're going to say.
Listen, you can continue to insult me. It doesn't really bother me. That's the whole point of this bit.
But because
was to
you're
get
not,
this out of it.
you're just being a jerk about it now.
Okay.
Jerk face.
No, you are. Like, you're just, anyone listening to this objectively will be like, yo, you're asking him a question. Can you just let him finish?
Go ahead.
What I've been trying to tell you since we teased it is this sale for this team has been clearly this just didn't happen in June of 2025. Can we all agree on that?
Yes.
Right? Mark Walter has been part of the Lakers minority ownership group since 2021, okay? So my assumption is when he decided, and you know, this is a pretty fair assumption, Cappy, I'd love to hear your thoughts on it, is that this wasn't done in a vacuum in like June. They were like, hey, you know what, Jeannie? I think I want to buy your team for $10 billion. And you're just like, you know what, Mark? That's a great idea. Let's just announce it to the media and let's get this thing on the let's put the show on the road here, right? That's fair that probably didn't go down that way?
I would think so.
Correct. So my guess is that over the last few months, maybe even leading up to that, perhaps even longer, there has been a agreement that this will take place, that this transition will take place. And because that transition will take place, that means Mark Walter and the Guggenheim Group, et cetera, they have probably had more input on the way things are run, okay? And, by the way, it still didn't mean until full ownership was transferred, or at least the idea of full ownership being transferred, it didn't mean that the Buss family inner circle still didn't have a large say in the way things are going. But clearly they came to some accord that this thing this year was not, and Ramona reported this, okay? This year, this group was going to be like, hey, we're not really going to go all out. We're not going to go nuts on this season. We're just going to try to get better on the periphery. And you know what? When you try to bargain shop, okay, at the dollar store, you're going to get what you pay for, okay? And look at what they had to work with in the offseason and what they brought in. DeAndre Ayton, who teams have given up on. Clearly, you understand why now. Marcus Smart, who, God bless him, is playing his ass off, but he's been injury-riddled for the last several years. He's not the defensive player of the year he was in 2023. But, man, he's busting his ass. I'll give him credit for that. Like, I'm not ripping him by any stretch of the imagination. And Jake LaRavia is on his third team in 3 years or whatever it's been. You know what I mean? Like, he's been a project kind of everywhere else. You know what I mean? Like, that's it. Like, that's kind of what they brought in. So what were your actual expectations, right? Windhorst likes to say, show me your actions. Those are their actions. So they speak volumes, all right? But if you don't want to see that and you want to just sit there and fire off because you think it's cute to be like, blame JJ, blame Pelinka, blame this, blame that, go to the top where they're making these decisions and telling them these are the directives to work with. These are the parameters you guys have to work with, and then do it that way. So this team is going through the Dodgersification, okay, right now, which means that, like I mentioned moments ago in the last segment, they're going to do the thing of, like, for a couple years, they're going to pay the Scott Kashmirs of the world to not play, or the equivalent of that in basketball, because clearly it's not the same sport, different salary structure, et cetera. But that's it. Like, that's what they're going through. So instead of sitting here and being so overly simplistic about this and overly emotional about this and blaming everybody under the sun, just look at the top. The top will tell you what's transpiring here.
Okay, let's let that breathe for just 1 second. By the way, the phrase that you're looking for is Dodgerization.
Okay, Dodgerization.
Thank you.
That's cool.
I coined
That's
it on
a much
Friday.
better way to say
yes,
it, Cappy.
I coined it on Friday. The Dodgerization of the Lakers.
Then let's roll with that.
Yes, let's use that one. Christopher, simple and emotional, along with Bit Boy and not a host. How do you feel right now?
I was trying my best to not name call you, but then when you started doing the thing that you do that really irritates me, then it was enough. Like, it was enough. Like, I had enough.
Right, I still don't know why JJ should be the head coach long term, but okay.
God.
Great, go ahead.
No, I was just going to ask a question, Sedano. So, do you think?
Are we sweeping the top here?
Yeah, why not?
Well, yeah. When we go this close, we'll just go for a couple
Bergie,
minutes.
Then perfect. Bergie's the exact person I want to talk to right now.
What do you got for us?
So, I was just going to ask, because do you think Joe Mazzulla is a better head coach than JJ Redick?
Yes.
Okay, so he's doing, and do you agree that he's doing a lot more with a lot less?
Right, but Joe Mazzulla also, okay, if we're being honest, Joe Mazzulla got to sit, okay, as an assistant coach, all right, as under Ime Udoka on a team that went to the finals, okay? Let's start with that, all right? So he got to sit on a bench for a little bit and learn that. Joe Mazzulla, in his first playoff run, got absolutely annihilated, outcoached by Eric Spoelstra with a team that was an 8 seed, if you recall, okay, in the conference finals. So it's not like Joe Mazzulla all of a sudden became a head coach overnight. Sometimes it takes these battle scars to become a head coach. Pat Riley will be he was honored yesterday, will be the first one to tell you that when they finally beat Boston, he blamed himself. Everyone talked about, quote unquote, Tragic Johnson in the headlines in the LA Times. I mean, Pat took as much blame as anyone for losing to Boston. That's how this goes, okay? Nobody comes in and waves a magic wand, okay? Eric Spoelstra is the best coach in the sport right now, okay? And his first few teams, they struggled. They made the playoffs, but they struggled. Even that first LeBron team, he'll blame himself for them going down, even though I don't necessarily know if he's entirely to blame. I actually think LeBron was pretty terrible in that series. It was the worst series we've ever seen him play at any level, basically, at any point in his career. But Eric wasn't great in that series either. And then he learned, much like Mazzulla. So to your point, yes, Joe Mazzulla's better because Joe Mazzulla's been at this longer, and Joe Mazzulla has been on a championship team, a team that was perfectly constructed to win a championship a couple years ago.
So why would you say that he's doing more with less, though? I'm just real quick.
He's doing more with less this year because he doesn't have Tatum.
Yeah, but still, they got a better roster
he's got
than
a
the Lakers.
Finals MVP on his roster.
Better roster than the Lakers do.
If you put the rosters next to it, just by name alone.
No, the Celtics are better.
Well, they're better. They're better players because they play well together. They play as a team very much.
That matters.
But that's also being coached up to be that.
No.
If you put Sam
that matters.
Hauser and Keita and Shearman and all these
guys won a championship, Greg.
I get it.
They know what it takes to win the 16 games. That's not something you can just manufacture. Even if you're go ask James Worthy, go ask Magic Johnson, go ask Shaq, okay? Those guys will tell you that those role players, knowing what it takes, knowing how to star in their role and how to win those 16 games from April to June, that stuff is incredibly valuable.
No, I agree with that, and this is really more of a devil's advocate thing. I just think that if you put some of these the names that the Lakers have versus the names that the Celtics have, you would think just by looking at paper that the Lakers would have a better team.
Why?
Because
Why do you say that?
Because you have LeBron, Luka Doncic, and Austin Reeves.
Austin Reeves is not he's not Jaylen Brown. He's not Jason Tatum.
No,
LeBron
but
is 41 years old.
Is he closer? Right, I get it, but also the way that Austin Reeves is playing. So
he's not as good as Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum. He's not.
Austin Reeves absolutely not. Is he as good as Sam Hauser or Peyton Pritchard?
Not as a collective, no.
Okay.
Those guys as a collective are better than all because they know what they are supposed to do they know how they fit. That stuff is not insignificant.
Is just one-on-one. Is Austin Reeves as good as?
Yeah, he's better than those guys one-on-one, but that's not how the sport is played.
No. I get it. I'm trying to get to somewhere.
Maybe you don't.
Okay.
Get it.
Right. So the point is that if he wasn't as good as them, it's is this the guy that you want to move forward with and pay a lot of money in the offseason?
That's a great question.
Thank you. You want to do that next?
Yes,
sure. We can do that next. It's way better than
goodness.
Chris blaming the coach and everyone under the sun.
Tell him, Chris. It's JJ's fault.
I just don't know who to blame.
Come on.
Apparently,
it's JJ's
just
fault.
everybody.
Yeah. Blame them all.
I told you already. Blame the people at the top.
Well, is that Rob Pelinka or no?
That he's not the top.
Oh, okay. All right. Let's talk about our friend at 8:05 in the morning, Jacob Emrani. It's nobody's fault except the top.
Should we blame Jacob?
No.
You
Well,
don't
maybe
think
if
so?
Jacob was coaching the team, that would have been better. I don't know.
Let me ask you this question.
Yes.
Before we get to our friend Jacob Emrani, we'll talk about one of his friends, Sam Pines. When owner Sam Pines, when something goes wrong at this place, okay, and he comes to you and says, why did this go wrong? And then you give him the reasons that are valid reasons that something went wrong. But ultimately, what do you say as the person at the top? You're at the top.
I say it's my fault.
Correct, at the top.
Okay.
That's it. There it is. And then he will say, yeah, that's also partially on us, okay? Because we, if your hire went horribly wrong, which it is not. It's gone, I think, fairly well, other than the, 10 minutes a week that you give me a coronary.
Easy.
Easy. Yeah.
We got to have an ambulance on standby for Sedano.
But what I would say is they would say the GKB way is if we made the hire, that's on us, right? If something went wrong because we created a directive of this is how we're going to conduct business, that's on us. So it's no different. Blame the top. The top right now is a little convoluted because there's an ownership change. And this is how they're going to do business. In the Dodgerization, as Cappy said, of the Lakers, there's a bit of a transition period, and they have clearly understood that's the case, which is why LeBron wanted out potentially, or at least we assumed so, based on his agent's message back in July.
So based on the Dodgerization, history would show you that Rob Pelinka won't continue, and neither will J.J. Redick.
Maybe not. Maybe he's Ned Colletti. I don't know.
And maybe J.J. Redick is Don Mattingly.
Maybe he is Don Mattingly, but I don't believe J.J. Redick is your problem here if you're looking at this roster and you're looking at the directive the general manager had to take to put this thing together.
Let's talk about let's continue it. Let's keep it rolling. Let's talk about our friend, though, Jacob Emrani right now.
You didn't give this kid a coronary. You know that?
Which kid, me?
No, not you.
You've
already had yours.
I was No, I didn't have a coronary. That would actually have been easier if I had a coronary. Yeah. I was climbing hills at Riviera up and down. Oh, it was beautiful this weekend.
Nice.
Hey, Cappy, the L.A. freeways aren't just clogged, okay, like a coronary with commuters, okay? They're packed with delivery vans, box trucks, and branded fleets that answer to corporate risk teams, okay? And if one of those vehicles sideswipes you on the 405 or plows into you while you're running errands, you need a firm that can chase that company, the driver and the lawyers of that insurance company hiding behind them.
Oh, no doubt. The law offices of Jacob and Ronnie know how to pull the driver's logs, all what's called the telematics and the maintenance records before they go missing. Jacob's team builds cases fast, so the carrier can't lowball you into walking away from medical bills and missed paychecks. So that's why, George, you got to let Jacob deal with the corporate adjusters while you focus on healing. You get all that?
No question about it.
It's a long copy, man.
We need a long copy.
That's long copy.
Yeah. Call this number, 800-345-6789, or head to calljacob.com for a free consultation, no obligation case review, and no fee unless we win.
We. 8:08 in the morning. We'll be back in 3 minutes, and we'll continue this conversation on a Michael McDonald Monday on KSPN Los Angeles, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
The Sedano and Kap Morning Show.
Vista Paint is California's original paint company and has been serving pros and homeowners since 1956. Our paints are formulated for lasting performance, beautiful finishes, and made to withstand the weather. Vista Paint, locally made, expertly crafted, always reliable.
Mike, in sports, dynasties don't happen by luck. They happen with culture, coaching, and execution.
Couldn't have said it better myself, Travis, but that's exactly how we run Rotolo Chevrolet.
Mike, it's actually pretty simple. Customer service that takes care of people.
It's probably the biggest reason why people choose Rotolo Chevrolet. They come from all over California.
210 freeway, Sierra Avenue exit, right there in Fontana. I'm going to remember that the rest of my life.
Love it.
And, of course, RotoloChevy.com. ROTOLO Chevy.com.
Celebrate the Lunar New Year at Pechanga Resort Casino. Kick the year of the horse into overdrive with cash and easy play giveaways every Saturday during the month of February. Plus, one lucky guest will take home a brand new Ferrari on February 28th. Earn entries for Pechanga's Lunar New Year drawings by using your rewards card when you play your favorite slots and table games all month long. Then be at Pechanga every Saturday night in February to activate your entries. Must be present to win. Visit Pechanga.com for complete details. Must be 21 or older with valid ID to participate.
Evan Cohen here. In life, as in sports, the pros make it look easy. That's why pro golfers like Jason Day, Ben Griffin, and Patton Kazire trust the pros in lawn care. True Green. They have the experience and expertise to give you a lawn worthy of the PGA Tour. And since True Green does the work for you, you get more free time, or more tee times. So stop stressing over your lawn and start loving it. Sign up now at TrueGreen.com because nobody makes it easier to get a golf course quality lawn than True Green, the official lawn care treatment provider of the PGA Tour.
I'm Boomer Esiason. My mom died from cancer. She was only 37 years old. She didn't have life insurance, and that was devastating for my family. That's why having life insurance is so important to me. Ethos makes it fast and easy. Get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. You can get up to $3 million in coverage with no medical exam.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Hey, this is Rich Eisen. You're starting your day with the Sedano and Kap Morning Show on ESPN LA. Don't forget my show. The Rich Eisen Show is coming up this morning at 9 on 710 ESPN and the all-new ESPN LA app. Now, back to the Sedano and Kap Morning Show.
8:11 on a Michael McDonald Monday. The Sedano and Kap Morning Show. Monday morning. Michael McDonald yesterday at the Pat Riley statue unveiling. Also sang the national anthem before the Celtics motorboated the Lakers. You like that, Cappy?
I do. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for using that term correctly. Good point.
It's a Michelob Ultra Reaction Monday. We're breaking down the Lakers' battle with the Celtics and what comes next. Hey, as we get you ready for Lakers basketball this week, Reaction Monday is brought to you by Michelob Ultra, a superior taste worth playing for, the official beer sponsor of the Los Angeles Lakers. Please enjoy responsibly.
All right, so let me try, George, to bring a little bit of sense to the argument that's been going on here so far this morning. And it's strange that I'm the guy that has to try to bring the sense to the argument, but I'm going to give it an effort here. Listen. Okay. So here's the thing. Chris is bringing up, why should J.J. Redick be the coach of this team going forward? And there are...
Going forward. I didn't say, he should be fired tomorrow. I simply said long term.
Okay, long term. And listen, here's one I'm going to pause for a second and just say this, that consistency in an organization is really important. And the Lakers over the last, George, 6-7 years? 6-7. They have not had that, especially when it comes to the coaching. They fire coaches every 2 years like people turn in leased cars. Okay? So let's take the coaching thing and put it off to the side for one quick second. Then, George, you bring up the ownership issue. So will Rob Pelinka remain as general manager given what he's done with this team? Or should Rob Pelinka not be blamed for where the Lakers are, but rather the ownership should be blamed? And by the way, when I say ownership, I'm not just talking about Jeannie Buss and the previous regime. I'm talking about Jeannie Buss and the transition into Mark Walter Guggenheim. And clearly, this organization has decided that this year is not something that they're going to go all in on. They're not moving the chips to the center of the table. They're not playing the all-in LeBron game. They're not playing the Luka's young and we're wasting a year of his career game. They're not doing that. They're saying, this is who we are for this year. We'll be the best we can be, and we'll see what happens. But in the end, why would they do that? And here's maybe an answer. Because as you probably read late last week, Dave McMenamin reported it, the Lakers are increasing their ticket prices next year by what some mathematicians call 40%. So think about that for a second.
But that's a Guggenheim move.
Okay, but this is what I'm trying to get at, though.
Yeah.
They're not going to come out publicly and go, hey, everybody, listen, here's the situation. LeBron's in his last year. He's not under contract going forward. Luka knows the story. He signed a long-term deal. Austin's going to get his money at some point. And unfortunately, we got 3 guys, maybe a 4th, maybe 4.5. The rest of our guys on our roster can't really play in the NBA. They're not championship caliber. This is not a championship caliber roster. Nobody is publicly coming out and saying, this is who we are and this is our strategy, right? I mean, they're not telling us that the strategy is get rid of LeBron at the end of the year and then go try and find a way to get Giannis. Nobody is saying that publicly. Can we agree on that?
Yes.
And why are they not saying that publicly? Because they're trying to convince everybody, and this is a smart business move, hey, we're doing what we can do. We're doing the best we can. We got LeBron at $50 million. We got one of the top superstars, the leading vote getter in all of the NBA, the leading scorer in the NBA. We've got superstars on our team. And next year, whatever happens next year, just so you know, we're raising our prices by 40%. My point in the end is this. They're not telling you this year is a lost year. They're telling you we're trying. We're doing our best with what we got. But I'm just preparing everybody for the future, which is you're not going to be able to afford those seats up in the upper deck because they're going up by 40%. You don't advertise to people that you're willing to sacrifice a year when next year you're raising prices by 40%. So you act organizationally like you actually think you can do something this year. And we can all see the results on the floor because if you can't beat Boston, and forget about beating them, if you can't compete with Boston on your home floor on what is an emotional, historic day in Laker history, then we all see what's really going on here. They're not even close this year. And worse than all of it is they're right there in the middle. They're not terrible where we can just beat them up every day. And they're not awesome where we can kiss their ass every day. They're just right there in the middle. Just average.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know about average.
So they should just tank then, huh?
Well, it's not about tanking. It's not about tanking, Lindsay. It's
I know. I'm just
making
about a joke because it's relevant right now.
Right, but they're just not being forthright. I'm not telling you that they're being dishonest. I'm telling you they're not being forthright with what the game plan is.
Well, I don't think that they need to say that because I think we've all come to that conclusion on our own. Like, if you're a Lakers fan, you're no dummy that they're quote-unquote, like, just kind of punting whatever you want to say on the season, right? Because everyone's going to say, well, then you would have done something. And then the other people are going to say, well, they didn't do anything because they didn't have the resources. Because at the trade deadline and with the money and everything the way that it works, you just couldn't do anything, right? They're limited. They were limited with the moves that they were allowed to make, correct?
Right.
So what else could they have done to make this team better at the deadline?
Well, they went out and got Luke.
Well, because they didn't want to give up assets, right?
So because they're
if
saving
you're not
it
going
for
to give up
next
assets, then you're not going to get anything in return.
So people can't get mad that they're quote unquote punting on this season if the idea is for them to go all in next season, right? Can't get mad.
That is under the assumption that we're all going to make the same one, which is they will go all in next year.
Why else would they not do anything? Just because they wanted to stay mediocre? Like, it's the Lakers. Why else would they not do anything?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of reasons why other teams might not want to deal with them, and there's also this lack of something that's attractive on this roster to go get something so much better. But in the end, to your point, they're not consumed with winning a championship this year. They're just not. They may be consumed with winning a championship in the Luka era going forward, but this year, right now, they are not consumed with winning a championship. They don't go on the floor every night as an organization. The players might. Players might be like, hey, I'm here to work hard and to win games. But organizationally, the Lakers are not committed to winning a championship this year.
But you said something, Cappy, a little bit earlier. It's about Pelinka, about why should he be the one to create this, change everything in the offseason. You have cap space. You have only 2 guys under contract, 2, maybe 3. So why should he be that guy moving forward that's going to actually create the roster? Can he build a roster like they're doing in Boston, where they have a bunch of team players that just know how to win?
My answer is no.
I agree.
My answer is Rob Pelinka should be let go at the end of the year. Thank you for your service. You did an outstanding job for as long as you had the job, which, by the way, is not really like being honest. It's just like, hey, trying to say something nice on the way out the door. Rob Pelinka should not be the guy, in my opinion, who should be in charge of rebuilding the Lakers roster. Why would I want him?
And perhaps that's right. Perhaps that's the right way to do it. But I will also say that I don't think you can blame this year on him, because he has to work under the parameters he's been given.
Fair point.
I would ask, what moves has he made in his tenure that you're like, those were great moves?
Getting Luka.
Well,
that one's not on him.
Well, I don't think. But then you could argue that nobody, he was the reason he got that was because of the relationship that he had, so that counts for something, right?
Phone call.
That's not why he got.
Well, you know what?
Again,
this is where I will give him credit. This is where I will give him credit on Luka. Is he somehow convinced Nico? And again, Nico said this to me because I asked him the question. Okay, we had the first nationally televised game with the Mavericks after this happened, okay? And I was like, yo, so people are like questioning the haul that you got in return for Luka. And that seems fair, right? And he's like, yeah, I get it. I get that criticism. He's like, but Rob told me that we can't give up all the assets if we can't talk to Luka, because we got to keep this on a hush-hush, and we can't talk to him about an extension right away. And I was like, okay, I get it. And in my head, I'm like, are you serious? You said that? You said you get it? That's not how you're supposed to respond to that. So I will give Rob credit in that regard, because Nico admitted that to us.
So Nico's just an idiot.
In the room.
Saying.
Well, that's why he's been fired subsequently, and Anthony Davis is no longer with the team. I mean, the Mavericks admitted their mistake and decided that they would fail fast and fire everybody or move everybody.
So as much as I don't give Rob a ton of credit for the Luka thing, I will give him credit for that. He didn't part with the assets other than one pick and Anthony Davis.
Man, I'd love Max Christie back right now.
I know, right?
Right.
That was the guy I was like, oh, man. Couldn't you give somebody else for him? I would give you Max Christie.
Okay, he found Max Christie. They found Austin Reeves, right? He has done some things that are good. I mean, they clearly missed on Dalton Connect, but nobody bats 1,000.
But is there enough?
Here's the thing about Pelinka. I don't think he's done, I don't think he's Brad Stevens, okay? But I don't think he's...
Is he Danny Ainge?
Well, I don't know if he's Danny Ainge either, but I'm saying he's not David Kahn, who was in Minnesota, back in, when in the Steph Curry draft, and he drafted Ricky Rubio and Johnny Flynn, before Steph Curry. like he's not that. You know what I'm saying? So, he's not Magic. Magic was way worse at this.
I mean, you mentioned that he missed on Dalton Connect, but he found Austin Reeves. So you have one guy that they drafted.
And he found Bronny. I mean, that was
well,
pretty
that's
good.
what I was going to get to.
Yeah.
So
Again,
he got
here comes
Bronny.
the snark.
No,
right?
but
Here
it's actually legit.
Can't add actually anything of value.
But wait
I'm
a
just gonna
minute.
add the
He
snark.
found Bronny.
According
to Ramona, they found Bronny.
They drafted him, and they signed him to a long-term, nice money deal. And did the Lakers really draft Bronny?
That's my cardiac brother.
Question.
I wouldn't rip him.
This is a rhetorical question because I already know the answer. But did the Lakers draft Bronny because they thought that he was going to help them win? Or did they draft Bronny to make LeBron happy? We all know what the answer is. So when we say we're going to give him credit for things, okay, you give him credit. Austin Reeves was undrafted and has turned into a great player. Dalton Connect was drafted and has turned into a guy who can't contribute in any way. And Bronny was a guy that they drafted just because they were trying to appease LeBron. With these types of conversations, if you're Mark Walter, you're thinking to yourself going forward, what am I doing with this guy? He was Kobe's agent, and that's why he got this job. And so now Jeannie's no longer in power. Kobe is no longer with us. What, I have to be loyal to this guy? Forget about it. I'm looking for Andrew Friedman of basketball. That's what I'm doing if I'm Mark Walter. And Rob Pelinka ain't it.
So to that point, Cappy, you know where I could go next, but I'm not going to.
Why not?
We don't need to get everybody upset again.
I don't know where you're going to go. But
we'll just let it.
Well,
Maybe
if
tomorrow.
you're just going to go on reruns, I would agree.
Yeah. There's no real. We already did it in the 7 o'clock hour. I don't need to
really?
do it
So you
again.
don't want to do like a Columbo rerun for us?
But I do want to ask you, Sedano. Sedano, I do want to ask you though, why wouldn't they go after a guy like Masai Ujiri who's not
Maybe
anywhere?
they will. I don't know.
He's not doing anything. It feels like, but he
he's getting
built
paid.
up Denver. He built up Toronto. He did a lot of things that actually built rosters. I feel like that would be a good. They wanted to get him years ago too.
Maybe they will. I don't know.
I mean, don't they essentially have a blank checkbook to go out and hire whoever they want? So they probably will, right?
Yeah.
And can't we all agree that, Rob Pelinka was, he's a product of Jeannie Buss, and that's why he's the GM? I don't think anyone's going to say that he's done a wonderful job. I think a lot of people have been wanting them to fire him for a couple of years, don't you think? Most
Agree.
Lakers fans?
And you bring up a great point, Lindsay, which is this. If you can't just show up with all this money in your checking account and just start giving it to players, George, you said it from
GMs.
You said it from the day that they took over this team, that they will add to their scouting department, that they will add to their facilities. They'll do all of the things that can make an organization better, other than being able to outspend everybody else, because there are rules in place to try and dissuade teams from doing that. But in the end,
they'll give them tools. Yes.
If you say, hey, look, who's the Andrew Friedman of basketball? Their money is not going to stop you from hiring him or her.
The Andrew Friedman of basketball is in Oklahoma City, and he's not going anywhere.
Okay, so
What if he offered him 10 times as much money? Hey, how much you make? I'll give you 10 times that. You think he'd come here?
Yeah, I get it, but it's not like the guy in Oklahoma City is not he's not crying for money. You know what I'm saying? I don't think
the guy in
it.
Oklahoma City. I would ask this question: Can you get Chet Holmgren, and can you get the other dude, Kazakhstan? Can you get Hartenstein?
Hartenstein.
Can you get
Why did you name him? Why did you make him a country?
My wife. Kazakhstan. Right. I mean that. Listen, built a beautiful roster. You know what the Lakers need desperately? They need two big men, Hartenstein, and they need Chet Holmgren. Now, if you put Chet Holmgren and Hartenstein with LeBron and Luka and Austin Reeves, now all of a sudden you have what looks like a real basketball.
Well,
team.
By the way,
wait a minute. How did they get that roster though, Cappy? They had to tank. And the Lakers,
they also made
tank.
they also
need Paul George too. Yeah,
not necessarily right. Not necessarily. Wow, you actually made a comment that spins it forward.
Look at that. Who knew?
Morales, now you're turning into a host.
I
know. Tell JG the Brick
instead of a bit boy.
Maybe I could go work in Vegas at a small time radio station.
They ended up getting a heist. By stealing SGA. Not only getting SGA, a future MVP, but they got a ton of picks in addition to that. It wasn't even we might look back at that trade as one of the biggest heists of all time in NBA history. One of them. Maybe not the one, but one of them. And that says a lot because it's not like Paul George is a bad player.
When he can play.
Right? Well, I mean,
Not
he's old
taking
now,
HGH.
but like he's old now. That's different. But when he was when he was at the peak of his powers, like that, I understood the Clippers making that move because that's what Kawhi wanted, and you just do it at that point. But Sam Presti's not coming to the Lakers.
Bottom line, this season, lost season for the Lakers, but get ready because the economics are going to change for the organization, and they're going to change for you, the fan. Get ready to pay 40% more for your tickets next year, and if you're going to charge me 40% more, and I'm going to pay 40% more, then I expect 40% more winning.
Yeah, but guess what? There's going to be bobbleheads because last night the Lakers had a bobblehead.
When will they give out jackets? Like they give the coach, Like, we'll get a jacket when we go? Was it priced,
Yeah, those Dior jackets.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, 8:27 on a Monday, a Michael McDonald Monday. Time to talk about our friends, Cappy. We're going to be there Friday in Fullerton. Our friends at VisionWorks.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about this because it's like this weekend, I'm watching this Laker game yesterday, and I don't think I'm that far away from the TV, and I'm squinting, I'm making faces, I'm like, what the hell is a score? I can't see it. Gosh, I can't wait to get my new glasses from VisionWorks. 2 weeks ago, I was at VisionWorks in Santa Ana. I got to meet with the doctor, which is really important because annual eye exams are super important for you because they can catch early signs of glaucoma, diabetes, hypertension. So they're not just checking your sight, they're looking at the health of your eyes. And listen, Lindsay, you picked out some brand new glasses for me. I'm getting them on Friday, and the whole world is going to be crystal clear.
I did pick out some glasses for you. I think you actually got 3 pairs. And that's because VisionWorks has so many styles to choose from, so many brands to choose from. They can help you figure out which ones fit your face the best. You can go online at visionworks.com and you can look ahead of time. And while you're there, you can find a store, make an appointment. And then once you do order, you can check your order status on their website. Cappy?
Beautiful, beautiful. And Christopher, people are going to get those tax returns. They'd probably be better served spending that tax return money on something good for themselves.
Yeah,
Would
don't
you
waste
agree?
that tax refund on bad sports takes and Dior jackets. Spend it on your eyes, sucker.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the thing about VisionWorks. They got that 100-day guarantee. If you change your mind, you can easily change your glasses. And they got the BOGO. 2 pairs, 1 easy decision. Buy 1, get 1 free at VisionWorks. We will be at the VisionWorks on Friday doing the Sedano and Kap Morning Show live. Pressing the flesh with the people, Cappy.
Yep, that's right. Friday, the Fullerton VisionWorks. And last thing, we've got 4 brand new T-shirts. I don't mean like just the number 4. I mean, we've got 4 different styles of Sedano and Kap T-shirts with catchphrases from the show on the T-shirts. They're yours on Friday at VisionWorks in Fullerton, but you've got to be there to get them.
The Sedano and Kap Morning Show continues on a Michael McDonald Monday in 2.5 minutes from right now.
The Sedano and Kap Morning Show. We'd like to thank our founding partner,
Cadillac of Beverly Hills. Cadillac of Beverly Hills. Experience luxury at the top of its game. Visit CadillacBeverlyHills.com.
This is the Sedano and Kap Morning Show.
Bowling, 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 everybody's bowling. I don't mean to brag, but they don't call me Mr. Pinhead for nothing. Now your top reasons to visit Morongo.
Bowling! Canyon Lanes at Morongo is a strike, spare, and side-splitting good time.
Number 2.
Rick Ross, live March 20th, only at Morongo.
And the number 1 reason.
We're giving away a Ford Bronco this Friday. There's still time. Play now. Earn entries on your rewards card. Be there to win.
Morongo, good times.
Buenos dias.
This is the Doctor in the Dugout with Dr. Alan Beyer, presented by Hoag Orthopedic Institute.
I'm often asked about people who suffer their first back injury, think they've pulled a muscle in their back, and they don't stretch enough as far as their back is concerned. So when do you seek care from a doctor when you've sustained a back injury? At Hoag Orthopedic Institute, we like to tell people that the most important thing is to watch and see if that back pain is radiating down your leg, causing any numbness, causing any weakness, or any bowel or bladder dysfunction. These are surgical problems usually and require a more urgent visit to the emergency room rather than waiting to see the doctor. If none of these signs are present, it's safe to wait it out, rest for a few days, and seek medical care from your doctor within a week or so. Hope that helps. Keep stretching your back. If that doesn't get better in a week or 10 days, that's when it's time to seek the orthopedic specialist. Hope this keeps you on the field, and keep listening. We'll be back soon.
Keep listening for more on the road to recovery right here on 710 ESPN.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-606-8737. 800-606-8737. 800-606-8737.
You're hanging out with the Sedano and Kap Morning Show.
Especially on lighter days like today, we're just going to make ourselves laugh.
Why the hell not?
Why the hell not?
Let's feel good today.
Let's feel good.
More Sedano and Kap.
Come on, kid. Just have fun.
Right now.
8:33, good morning. The Sedano and Kap Morning Show on a Michael McDonald Monday. This is a Doobie Brothers selection. Michael McDonald up front. Of course, Michael McDonald sang the national anthem yesterday at Crypto for Lakers Celtics and was part of the statue unveiling. Now, Sedano, what is the connection? He sang at Pat Riley's wedding, right?
Yeah, they go way back from when Pat was here. Yeah.
Beautiful. By the way, great listener, P1 of the radio station, Danny J. Zamorano, slid into my DMs and said, I love when you make Sedano mad. It makes the show so funny. I'm here to serve, Danny. I'll go on a kamikaze mission right into the beast of the belly. I'll take the frontal fire. I'm not afraid.
By the way, Danny, just so you know, Chris, Danny is a guy who is a hardcore, as you know, hardcore listener to the station and loves the show. And he was telling me yesterday, this is Sunday, by DM, he's listening to all of our podcasts from the week because it helps him really a lot because he's at home. He had a pretty serious injury. He had an Achilles injury, and now he's going through all kinds of treatment, and he's just sort of locked up with a boot on his leg, can't move very well. So he was saying that the Sedano and Kap podcasts are getting him through his what he'll call an injury depression. So shout out to you, Danny J. We appreciate you, brother, and we're glad that you're with us.
Absolutely right. By the way, you can always get to the podcast of the show on the ESPN LA app or on Apple Podcasts, or just go to YouTube and watch the old episodes. Why not?
There you go.
If you're a sicko that likes to watch us do it every day.
Right on. Exactly right. Well, George, how do you feel right now? Let's catch our breath here for a second. How do you feel? Because we've been going at it now for about an hour, ever since Morales, as he said,
and it started
was a kamikaze
with
mission.
the miscreants in the YouTube chat.
Oh,
right?
Sorry with them.
Why are you guys talking about the gold medal game?
USA Hockey. How dare you two guys who are not native Los Angelinos? How dare you start the show on Monday after the USA won gold? 46 years to the day.
You know what's funny about the not native Angelinos? The only native Angelinos here, technically,
are John and Travis.
No, well, yes, but John is like South OC.
Yeah.
So I'll give John the asterisk, and then Bergie and
John is barely.
Jorge.
So you're saying John is barely like above Cappy in regards to like geography.
He's in that region, but I'll give John the credit. But it's really Travis Rogers. Grew up in Arcadia.
Yeah.
I grew up in OC in Whittier, but that's not technically Los Angeles proper. Bergie grew up in Calabasas.
Yeah.
Not Los
Woodland
Angeles
Hills.
proper.
I mean,
Local
that's LA.
kid, though.
It's LA
Local
County.
kid.
It's
He's a
LA
local
County.
kid.
Were you born
Just
here?
saying.
Local guy. He's a local guy.
Briona's a
But
local
anyway,
guy.
yes. And then since then, for the last hour and 20 minutes, Chris's sole purpose in life has been to annoy me.
No, Ruben Flores in the YouTube chat, that miscreant, said Morales only reads the positive DMs on the air. That's not true. I've read a lot of negative ones.
We should do read the mean comments like they do.
That's fine.
Read the mean tweets on Jimmy.
Is
Kimmel.
that the short guy,
plenty of
Ruben?
them.
Is that Raider Ruben? Or
No, that's not Raider
okay.
Ruben.
No.
Oh, that's
different Ruben.
All right, enough of those guys. But anyway,
Well, the bottom line is he got you nuts. He got you going. We've done a lot of Lakers Celtics. Can we just end it, at least this part of it, by saying this? what James Worthy said yesterday in the postgame show. And again, think about where Worthy's head is at. He's got Magic and Kareem and all of his old Showtime teammates. He's got Pat Riley making his speech at halftime. And what Worthy has to watch, particularly in the second half, is, as he says, weak, no effort, and frankly, an embarrassment to the uniform on a day where Riley's statue is unveiled and the old Showtime Lakers come back to celebrate the history of the organization. And that was a complete horse crap, lack of effort, lack of energy. And again, these are James Worthy's words, a complete embarrassment to the uniform. They got ham-slammed, motorboated on their home floor by little Peyton Pritchard, who made them all look stupid yesterday. No defense, no bench, nothing.
I thought you were going to set up the sound at some point. But the little Peyton Pritchard is, he's pretty damn good, dude.
No, he's very good.
If you've been watching that guy the last couple of years, that guy's a baller.
Well, I remember his college career at Oregon, like him being a really good player. And he's part of that championship Celtics culture. So he's a good player. But man, oh man, the way he beat up on some of these listen, Austin Reeves, I'm a huge fan. But man, that was a real, you were exposed as a poor defender by this player.
So Greg asked the question, are you paying Austin Reeves the max?
Right, because that's what he can get. I think 4 years, $140 million, $141 million, or 5 years, $141 million.
241.
241.
I would not.
He's a $50 million a year guy.
Yeah, you're right.
That's the max.
Yeah,
5 years, 241.
That's a big number. I bet you can probably get
for a guy who
like
can't play defense.
Sam Hauser and Peyton Pritchard level type players, so 2 to 1, like you were talking about. Or
let me ask
do you think he's the right Sedano? Do you think he's the right guy to re-sign?
They believe he can be to Luka what Kyrie was to Dallas. I am not as I do not believe that he's the talent Kyrie Irving.
Kyrie plays a little bit of defense.
Well,
I also don't think he's the offensive player that Kyrie
No,
is.
absolutely not. Nobody's the offensive player that Kyrie is.
All right, but hold on. I have a question for you guys. If I told you that next year you had a choice, you spend $50 million on LeBron or you spend $50 million on Austin Reeves, you got to spend $50 million.
Those are my only choices.
Why do I got to spend $50 million on someone?
Well, here's why. Because LeBron is a $50 million a year player right now.
He's going to take less money.
Okay, well, he A, should, and B, should take it from somebody else other than the Lakers. But I'm just posing an idea to you. Would you rather have LeBron going forward, or would you rather have Austin Reeves going forward if the dollars were the same? Who would you rather have going forward?
That's not a good place to be. If that's if
now you're in trouble.
Yeah, we're not going anywhere anytime soon. If that's the case.
Okay, but here's the thing: isn't this the conversation that's ongoing? LeBron could be in his last year, and Austin Reeves is a guy who's got still more upside. And
no, but I think what you look. Let's talk in reality because it's not a binary situation. Okay, it's not like you have to pay $150 million or the other. I think the move you try to make is tell Austin, hey man. You can, is there, you have to play the game with him a little bit and be like, look, we can offer you more than anyone, okay? Total, all right? And you have to do it carefully because you don't want to insult him, right? But you have to find the number where it makes sense. Like, where is Austin Reeves stop being value? You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that is a number they have to determine, and they have to come up with whatever that proprietary number is going to be.
So hopefully
and I say and I say proprietary because he means X to them more so than potentially to someone else.
So he's probably if you were just off of him, his skill set, everything, probably like a $30 million player, somewhere around there. And then you have other guys. Are you signing anybody else on this roster? Like, giving $20 to $25 million to Rui Hachimura, taking that away from you, that seems like a terrible idea to me. Yep. So you have to really go out and find somebody. You have to go all the way around the league and take people from all over the place.
Right. So here's what I would say. Let me do the math here. Okay. Another team can offer Austin Reeves 4 years at 178. Okay.
4 into 178.
Is 44 and a half.
Something. Yeah, 40 million, okay. 45 million.
That's still a lot.
Ooh, that's a lot.
That's a lot.
Yeah,
that's a lot.
Taking up all your cap space.
Okay. So
remember when he was on that rookie contract?
Yeah.
And how inexpensive he was. And then it was like, well, he's going to be a $14, $15 million a year player. And we're like, well, will he still be as good at 14 or 15 million? And he's been great for 14 or $50 million. Austin Reeves has been great. But even I, the biggest Austin Reeves fan of the crew, can't really see wanting to spend $40 to $50 million on Austin Reeves.
Well, George, isn't that like the world that we live in now in the NBA where, like with the new CBA and the aprons and all that stuff, like somebody like Austin Reeves, sure, like that's what he's due, but like what team that's a contender is going to pay him that much when he doesn't even play defense?
I mean, right. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. All it takes is one is usually the answer to that. But I would agree. I would not pay him, that kind of money. And then the Lakers, that's 44.5. Then the Lakers can offer him $241 for 5. Excuse me.
Oh God.
For 5. That's an average annual value of 48.2.
Unbelievable.
So that's nearly $4 million more per year. Okay. So I think the question is this: like, can you convince Austin to be like, hey, can we do it for 40 per year? Right?
Yeah.
And even that, it's like
even that sounds like a lot.
Well, you have 60 in cap space. That means you have barely anything left.
Okay, but this is the conundrum you find yourself in.
Well, that is why we started talking about this earlier. Is Rob Pelinka the guy to put this new puzzle together? My answer is no. And unfortunately, for guys like myself who've been on the Austin Reeves has to be here train, at these dollar figures,
right?
If you're gonna get rid of LeBron, hypothetically, if this is LeBron's last year, and you're gonna build everything around Luka, are you building around Luka or are you building around Luka and Austin? Because at $47 or $48 million a year, to me, you're gonna have Luka and Austin, and again, you're gonna be stuck with the same boat with you got nobody else other than those two guys.
Yeah, here's what I would say. Okay. It's why I've been telling you got to trade Austin at some point, because it's not going to work it's not going to work if he's making 40 and Luka's making nearly whatever it's going to be, $60+ million, close to 70, and you got two guys back there in your starting 5 who can't defend in the backcourt. Like it's not going to work unless you nail everything else. Like, you're giving yourself a small margin. Now, for all the, ripping we did of Nico in the last segment, understandably so, he's a terrible negotiator. But I will say this, he did a nice job constructing the roster around Luka because he did nail all the other stuff and got them to the finals. Because while Kyrie is not as poor a defender as Austin, it's not like he's substantially better than Austin defensively. So Nico, for what it's worth, good roster construction, terrible negotiator. But that got him fired because the latter was much bigger, or a much larger part of the equation.
Well, I would throw in terrible talent evaluator also, because when you give up on Luka Doncic and you see the kind of season he's having, that was not smart.
But good constructor of roster, no question. Like, you got to give him that.
What do you think, Bergie? Should they hire Nico Bergie?
Bring him in here as one of the smart people
no,
in the room.
You definitely can't do that. Like,
Absolutely not.
What are you talking about? You guys should love me. I gave you Luka. That's why I gave you, so I can become
Honestly,
the GM
though,
of this
right.
team.
But I think there's a guy that wears 77 that won't be too thrilled about having him on board.
But that Dallas team, if they were all healthy with Kyrie, Anthony Davis, Gafford, and PJ, like the defense that was around those guys could have been decent if they actually were healthy, but none of them are.
By the way, even the miscreants in the YouTube chat may like this, where the Team USA gold medal team is headed to next. I got to tell you, because this just got reported, and I was like,
this should be interesting because
that's
with
where
the weather.
Well, it's where their actual celebration party is going to be. That was like, okay.
I want to hear this. I want this. Let me hear about it.
We'll tell you that in 2.5 minutes. 8:46 in the morning. The Sedano Kap Morning Show on a Michael McDonald Monday. Let me talk about American Heart Month. It is American Heart Month, the month of February, and our friends at Providence want you to take care of that heart, because your heart works hard for you every single day. It powers everything you do. We all know what I went through last year. Don't go through what I went through. Learn more about getting your heart checked up. Go to providence.org/SoCalHeart. Providence.org/SoCalHeart. And this Thursday, Cappy and I are going to be at the site of where it all took place, the scene of the crime, Cappy, to celebrate my 1-year anniversary of getting through heart failure and being made better by the great Katie Cornella at St. Joseph's Hospital in Orange. You and me pressing the flesh with the doctors. Yeah. Now, you're not allowed to wear a gown.
Come on. How about scrubs?
You can wear scrubs.
If they'll give me scrubs, I'll put them on. By the way, I want to tell you something, Christopher.
Yes.
You know that last week I visited with an old friend of mine, and she was telling me the story that her brother, 43 years old, was very overweight, smoked a ton, drank too much, and you know what? 43 years old, dropped dead of everything that you had. This kid died. And I was telling her all about you and how you actually got to the hospital, lucky for all of us, in time so that you were not what he became.
Absolutely.
Seriously,
right.
it was this close.
This American Heart Month, Providence encourages everyone to take a moment to check in on their health and make choices that keep their hearts strong for the people they love, so you don't end up like Cappy's friend, or you don't have to go through what I went through. Providence.org/SoCalHeart. We will find out where Team USA is going to go celebrate in 2.5 minutes from right now on the Sedano and Kap Morning Show on ESPN LA.
The Sedano and Kap Morning Show. We'd like to thank our founding partner,
East Central Hotel, the official downtown home away from home for Cappy and Morales. EastCentralHotel.com.
This is the Sedano and Kap Morning Show.
Hey, Laker fans, 2026 is the year of you when you suit up with National University to pursue a career-focused bachelor's or master's degree. Take your best shot with NU's Year of You scholarship and score up to $6,000 annually toward an industry-current bachelor's or master's degree. 4 or 8 week courses, flexible online options, plus free tutoring, career counseling, and more. Apply by March 31st at nu.edu. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey, it's Mace. If you love sports, you gotta see Coliseum Los Angeles. Massive display, crystal clear picture and fans everywhere. Step inside the dome, wrap around visuals, put you in the action. You want variety? The hall delivers live multi-view sports, no remote needed. Football, NBA, Premier League, UFC, all there. Then head out to the deck, a panoramic rooftop bar with craft cocktails and local favorites, sports, movies, date night, game night. Cosm does it all. Get tickets now at Cosm.com.
Bruh. Mike, in sports, dynasties don't happen by luck. They happen with culture, coaching, and execution.
Couldn't have said it better myself, Travis, but that's exactly how we run Rotolo Chevrolet.
Mike, it's actually pretty simple. Customer service that takes care of people.
It's probably the biggest reason why people choose Rotolo Chevrolet. They come from all over California.
210 freeway, Sierra Avenue exit, right there in Fontana. I'm going to remember that the rest of my life.
Love it.
And of course, RotoloChevy.com. ROTOLO Chevy.com.
Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with a Capital One Saver card. So let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything. The Capital One Saver card is at table 27, and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, Chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu.
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Out on the course, they're the PGA Tour's best players. But in the arena, they're prime time. And Season 2 of TGL presented by SoFi is back with lights, cameras, action. We're talking big moments, big personalities, big names in the stands, all on the big screen. Big-time matchups with shot clocks, hammer drops, timeouts, overtime, and playoffs. It's city versus city, squad versus squad. The sport just hits different under the lights. It's TGL presented by SoFi. Keep up. It's golf. Tune into every match. Only on ESPN.
Mornings on ESPN LA will never be the same.
Quack, quack. Quack, quack. I get parents telling me all the time that the kids in the car love the quack. They're now into the quack, quack.
Listen, I am a role model for the youth of America.
Oh, we know that.
The Sedano and Kap Morning Show is on. Back to Sedano and Kap.
8:51, good morning. The Sedano and Kap Morning Show on a Michael McDonald Monday. Michael McDonald, the legend, yacht rock legend, part of the Pat Riley unveiling yesterday and sang the national anthem before the Celtics steamrolled the Lakers. We will pay off Sedano's tease of where Team USA is going to celebrate, but first I got to tell you this. It's time to BB go for it. In every game, someone get... Oh, hold on. We got the hook here. It's time to BB go for it. In every game, someone gets the chance to guess which team will score the first three-point basket. And Friday, we had two contestants. First, our BB go for it contestant was Jesse Hernandez from Fontana, who guessed that the Lakers would hit the first three against the Clippers. He was incorrect, but he still won a $50 BB Go gift card. Then on Sunday, we had Gilbert Cubius from Pico Rivera guessed that the Celtics would hit the first three. He was correct. He won a $100 BB Go gift card, and was entered to win a trip to basketball's biggest stage. Want to play? Listen to Mason Island for your chance to win. Good luck from our friends at BB Go. Bring something different to the table. BB, go for it. That was a lot of reading, Sedano, so you go now. Well done.
All right, George, I want to hear what you were saying, that the U.S. men's hockey team will be going to celebrate, but we don't know where, or at least you're going to tell us where.
So what's happening is they, because of the weather in the Northeast, okay?
Yeah, it's bad.
They can't get back to, I mean, I don't know if people know this, but it's like a crazy storm coming today and tomorrow, right?
Yeah, they say New York has more snow right now than they've had in like the last 5 years combined. It's crazy.
Right,
20
and
inches
this
of
was
snow.
coming off a storm that they just had not too long ago.
And by the way, what did we have this weekend? Summertime conditions.
Oh my God,
again.
it was so nice.
It
Yeah.
was perfect this weekend.
Yeah. So they've rerouted their plane. I heard them talking about this yesterday, that they're rerouted to Miami, okay?
Yeah.
And then they've decided to celebrate in Miami. Okay. And they are celebrating at the world-famous nightclub called 11, or as you would like to say, Cappy. Yeah, go ahead. Say
11.
Right.
That's how it's
now,
really pronounced.
For those that don't know what... Go ahead, Cappy.
No, that's it. 11.
Don't say it again.
11.
Is... It's like this huge warehouse club in downtown Miami that's like an all after hours, all night. Like they party past the sunrise, okay, there. And it is like the after hours joint that is also, it's open, like a traditional nightclub too. But it is, let's call it, they call it like an ultra club where, the DJs are there and then there's like famous like performers sometimes there, right? Like, Cardi B or whatever, or your boy Diplo, Cappy. Like, there'll always be somebody famous performing there. But they also have what I would like to call a cabaret style as well at that kind of place. So not only do you get the traditional bottle popping service with the DJ or the performer on stage or whatever, this monstrous place, cavernous place, but they've got a cabaret style kind of set up there as well.
Does Marshmallow Head ever perform there?
Yeah, he has, yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, they better hurry up, the U.S. hockey team. They better hurry up, get back to Miami, get all their partying out of the way. My man Jack Hughes got to go see a dentist or some kind of oral surgeon or something because we got to get that kid some new teeth. And then everybody got to go back to work because the NHL comes back on Wednesday. By the way, side note to all of that, huge week coming up for the Kings, George. I don't know if you've taken a look at the schedule for the Kings, but the Kings will start on Wednesday against Las Vegas. They got a huge homestand. Wednesday against Vegas, Thursday against Edmonton, Saturday against Calgary, Monday against Colorado, and then Thursday against the Islanders, and then Saturday against Montreal. So they've got like 6 home games. And if the Kings are going to turn their season around, and that's a big if given the injury to what happened to Fiala over at the Olympics, they got a huge opportunity here with all these home games coming up. But to Miami, George, and then they got to hustle out and get back to work, these guys.
Correct. Yeah, but they're going to party tonight, apparently.
I would think so. Jack Hughes is now my favorite player in the NHL. I'll be following the rest of his career. And, George, I just found my Jack Hughes card that I found in my box of cards here. So I've got a Jack Hughes New Jersey Devils card right here. Nice. This kid, 24 years old. Listen, if I'm a parent in America of a kid that's not going to be 6'10", of a kid that's not going to be playing in the NBA, and your kid is not 6'5", 220, and not going to be playing quarterback in the NFL, but your kid is going to be 5'9" and 175 pounds, I'm putting my kid into hockey immediately. Because if Jack Hughes and Quinn Hughes and their 3 brothers can all be first-round draft choices, and these are not These are not big dudes. These are regular guys that if you saw them walking around the streets, you'd be like, kick his freaking ass. But no, they're NHL hockey players. They're first-round picks.
They'll kick your ass.
Yeah, they'll kick. They will lose their teeth and kick your ass. So they're going to Miami, huh? Miami to party.
Yeah.
Okay, and then everybody got to get back to work. Big week coming up for the Kings. That's all I'm saying. And I love Jack Hughes, my Hebraic hermano. God, that makes so good. Come on. USA wins gold, and the brother that scores is my Hebrew brother. George, this is like my modern-day Sandy Koufax. Do you understand what this means to me?
No, I know. It's big. Yeah.
Seriously.
Rich Eisen Show begins terrestrially at the top of the hour. We go to the YouTube hour on the app and on YouTube at ESPN Los Angeles. By the way, tune in to DeMarco and Travis all week for your chance to win a pair of tickets to Pechanga Resort and Casino's annual wine festival and chocolate decadence on Saturday, March 7th. When you hear the cue to call, get ready to sweet talk your way right into a night of chocolate and wine. Visit Pechanga.com for tickets and details. Cheers! We keep gathering together. We'll talk Team USA. Maybe I'll piss off Sedano again. That's all ahead on a Michael McDonald Monday morning.
I always grill an order at Waba Grill because it's just better for you. Our Asian-inspired menu has high-quality proteins that are healthier for you, like hormone-free chicken, ribeye steak, wild-caught salmon, and shrimp. Introducing our new Chili Crisp Dumplings, a spicy twist on a Waba favorite. Bold, crunchy, and tossed, and fiery. Chili Crisp. That's our new Chili Crisp Dumplings. Get them today, only at Waba Grill. It's for you.
Bowling, 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 everybody's bowling. I don't mean to brag, but they don't call me Mr. Pinhead for nothing. Now your top reasons to visit Morongo.
Bowling! Canyon Lanes at Morongo is a strike, spare, and side-splitting good time.
Number 2.
Rick Ross, live March 20th, only at Morongo.
And the number 1 reason.
We're giving away a Ford Bronco this Friday. There's still time. Play now. Earn entries on your rewards card. Be there to win.
Morongo, good times.
Hey, OC, Chris Morales here, and let me ask you this. You got your tax return, but can you actually see where it went? This is your reminder to hit up VisionWorks. New glasses, eye exams, contact lenses, the home-ish book up. If your prescription is outdated, your eyes are working overtime, use some of that tax refund on healthy eyes and fresh frames. VisionWorks makes it easy, affordable, and fast. Clear vision? That's money well spent. There's 7 OC VisionWorks locations ready to help you see clearly right away. VisionWorks. See the difference.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-568-2790. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-568-2790. That's 800-568-2790. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with, call Big Lou at 800-568-2790.
The home of Rams football, and now the home of The Rich Eisen Show. Weekdays 9 a.m. to noon, KSPN Los Angeles, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
The Sedano and Kap Morning Show is on the air.
Yeah, we were young, we were grinding, we were like selfish, we were all of these things, but what they were very, very gifted, talented players. Never let me coach them, unless they thought I was competent.
The LA Morning Drive double punch of great sports radio to start your day. Unsportsmanlike with Evan, Canty, and Michelle. 3 to 7.
Hey, this is Rich Eisen. The Hall of Famers Mason and Ireland have a new show to lead into theirs. The Rich Eisen Show.
The Sedano and Kap Morning Show is on the air.
Yeah, we were young, we were grinding, we were like selfish, we were all of these things, but what they were very, very gifted, talented players. never let me coach them, unless they thought I was competent, unless they knew what I could do. And they wouldn't trust you unless you were competent. And they felt that I was competent enough to be able to teach them, to improve them. And I worked very hard on trying to be a competent head coach. And they trust you because they want to get better themselves. And the last thing is reliability. You got to be there, for them when they need you. It's a tough sport, tough business.
The biggest show in ESPN LA history.
And it's Werenski. Now Jack Hughes puts it around the car. United States with numbers. Watch across it comes. Jack Hughes wins it. The golden goal for the United States. For the first time since the 1980 miracle, the United States takes the goal.
Did you have me on your show to berate me? Is that what you're doing now?
Scott Kaplan, eat a fat one, bro.
Thank you for letting me share in your aura.
How do you say his name? Asminger?
Asminger.
On 710 ESPN.
The all-new ESPN LA app. And on YouTube at ESPN Los Angeles.
Give me a freaking break.
We're bigger than U.S. Steel.
What a catch by the tight end.
Dungus.
Right now.
Wow, that's crazy.
Well, you want to woo-woo?
I've danced with the devil.
It is smooth, baby. Yeah.
We did enough defensively. We're just awful offensively tonight.
Connor Hellebuck made a couple Hellebuck of saves, especially the one off the paddle.
Free mahi-mahi, free mahi-mahi.
Yeah. Boom, bean-a-bop. Free mahi-mahi. Do you know
9:03 in the morning on a Michael McDonald Monday. Quack, quack indeed. We gather around together. Not even JT the Brick, if he was at 150%, he still couldn't hold my headphones. That hat.
Well, I mean, he might be able to image the top of the hour better, though, considering that it started 3 different times.
Well, we had a technical snafu in the Rich Eisen studio.
Uh-oh.
Which was caused by the same people that handed me the wrong copy 10 minutes ago.
No. Who is that? Who did that? Who would do such a thing? How dare they?
So,
hand you the
George,
wrong
we
copy?
can only keep so many things together at once.
Oh.
You tell me.
But, you want to blame J.J. Redick and Rob Pelinka for their
Well, I just would like to blame somebody.
Yeah.
Ultimately, when Sam Pines texts and say, what just happened, I'll say, my fault.
My bad, y'all.
Just like this morning. I had a text waiting for me at 3:45 in the morning. Both Berkey and I did.
What was that
about? A promo that played that shouldn't have. And I said, yeah, my fault.
Oh, man. That's on me. That's on me.
It's on me.
Mine. I'll take that one. I'll take that. I'll take the L. I get it.
When he says, why is Sedano such a miscreant at times? I said, you know what? That's on me.
Yeah, that is on you. It is 100% on you. Sedano came in today looking, I thought, very refreshed.
Why does Cappy not sometimes understand basics of LA sports radio?
That's on you.
That's on me.
That's on you, 100%. Not my fault. Not my problem.
Why does John Ireland sometimes fall asleep during his own radio show?
That's on you.
That's on me.
100% that's your fault.
Why is the top of the hour start 4 different times on a Monday? A Michael McDonald Monday? Guess what?
That's your fault.
That's on me.
That is 100% on you. I agree. A lot on your shoulders, man.
Why is Samboni in here standing up, ready to talk about Team USA? Well, that truly is on me.
No, that is on you because Samboni is of the opinion that we are incapable of talking hockey. Even if I'm going to tell you guys something really quick, George. I woke up yesterday morning at 4:30 a.m.
Really?
Yeah, because I was getting up to watch this game. I was watching it from the first drop of the puck till the very end of the game. And here's why. I told this to Rachel. Because I really wanted to understand the story of the game. Had I come in the second period or later in the second period, or had I come in the third period, I wouldn't know what the real story of the game was. And the story of the game was that the U.S. was outmanned, even without Sidney Crosby of the Canadian team.
Right.
The U.S. was outmanned.
I mean, that kind of was understood, no?
Well, I mean, listen, you tell me. How much did you watch, a lot of the Team Canada in the Olympics? Because I didn't.
I mean, I watched a few games, yeah.
Oh, really? You watched a lot more, more than you watched yesterday?
A couple here and there. I texted in the group text a couple times watching them, yes.
Yeah, but like, did you sit down and like really like intensely watch? I mean,
well,
this is
I
what I'm
mean,
trying to say.
I know McKinnon is, and
Hey, nice job.
You know what I'm
Hey, way to
saying?
go.
Like, and
Way to go.
McDavid and McCarr.
Right.
Like, I know who those guys are. Like, it's not these guys are NHL players. So it's not like they're guys
Every
like
player on both teams were NHL players.
right. So that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not like these are unknown commodities.
No. But my point is that when I'm watching this game, and I watch it from the very beginning. And by the way, I can't sit on a couch and watch a game. I have a very, very hard time sitting still.
So what do you do?
I got 2 hours of cardio in yesterday while watching Team USA. I took the first hour on an elliptical. Then I got about 45 minutes on a Peloton. And then we were going to overtime. Once we went to overtime, I left the Peloton and went back to the elliptical. But I only got in like the last 15 minutes. But I got like a legit 2 hours of cardio in watching this game.
And then how much did you drink yesterday?
I had 3 beers, 3 icy cold Coors Lights.
Oh, that's not that bad.
No, it wasn't terrible. I had three Coors Lights yesterday.
Do you have any of those caffeine pouches?
I have not had any of those caffeine patches yet because you guys scared the living hell out of me yet.
Well, Dr. Clapper did really.
Right. So I haven't had any of the caffeine patches yet. But then I also did like a 7-mile walk yesterday. So I got a lot of exercise.
Oh, that's very
in.
nice.
Yes, it was lovely. But I really wanted to know the entire story of the entire game. And the story of the game yesterday was that Team Canada was a much more skilled team. And Team U.S. was on their heels playing defense the entire time. And they were busting their ass and giving it everything they had.
Yeah.
Even in that 5-on-3 power play that Team Canada had, the U.S. battled. They killed the penalty. And I thought that was going to be a big momentum shift in the game. But I really believe that it exhausted them, both physically and mentally. And I think that in the third period, they were playing that style of just pure defense, and they got very lucky. And by the way, so did Canada, because the U.S. had that double doink shot that could have very easily have gone in. But Canada had many, many, many more scoring opportunities than the U.S. did. But I said it earlier, it's like watching a heavyweight fight. One guy, really skilled, knows how to move his feet, knows how to counterpunch. He's a thinking fighter. And on the other hand is Mike Tyson, who has no skill at all and just is looking to land one big knockout punch. And that was the USA's best chance, was to land the knockout punch while they were taking a lot of punishment along the way. And for me, I'll just tell you guys, I said it earlier, I'll say it again. Not only did I love the fact that this kid, Jack Hughes, got the game-winning goal, but in a time in American history where anti-Semitism is at an all-time high, at least in my life, to see a young Jewish American score the game-winning goal and instantly turn into an American sports hero, it took my love for not just the USA hockey team, but for the Hughes brothers, the Hughes family, and just raised it to a completely different level. And I told you the story earlier today about Hughes' mom and how active she's been in USA hockey. And then, 3 kids all become first-round draft choices. It was an amazing story yesterday. USA.
At 7:09, are you just going to let Samboni sit in there holding his puck?
I thought he was holding his stick. I didn't realize he was holding his puck. Samboni, I'm looking at you, man. I'm looking at you. You got on your different Kings jacket. Didn't think we actually were watching yesterday, did you?
Well, I decided to go to Instagram early yesterday, and this wasn't to be sort of a flex at all. I just wanted the world to understand that it was happening early. Sunday was an early start, and I got up and turned on the TV, and the great one was right there, Wayne Gretzky. So it started with Gretzky and Tirico walking us up to the game, and that was really a tremendous way to start the day. And I just thought, all right, let's see who's on board with me. I'm not gonna go and text people at 4:30 in the morning. I could have texted you, Cappy. Now I know. But I figured if I put that out there on Instagram, now the folks that are up watching and a part of this will naturally reach out and text or hit me on IG. And that's exactly what happened. And look at our chat, how immediately on fire that thing got. And credit, by the way, to a guy who really knows puck, George Sedano, who got on there and really kicked that thing off. That was nice. That was nice to see everyone that invested.
Mm-hmm. It was great. It was an amazing game.
And Sam, you and I talked about Cappy. I think you were here that day. We were breaking this thing down about who was left off these teams.
Yes.
Who was upset why they were left off and the makeups of the teams. So I'm glad that you invested the time yesterday, and clearly it paid off. But But yeah, like I feel like those, we kind of broke it down with Samboni a little bit in the preview, I would call it.
Yes, very nicely done from you, George. And I feel like this contest, this tournament was kind of simple to handicap when the NHL players were involved. If you look at, I said it would be stunning if USA, Finland, Canada, or Sweden didn't win gold or medal, right? And the only one of those four that didn't medal was Sweden, and because of the bracket, Sweden had to play USA in the quarterfinal. And, of course, that went to overtime. And Quinn Hughes, the brother of Jack Hughes, won that game in overtime after Zibanejad from the Rangers had tied that game late in the quarterfinal. So it happened as we thought it would. And, of course, George and Cappy, I was happy to be here to kind of throw those numbers out there and make it really simple for everybody. But what happened yesterday, while we were watching, it felt obvious that USA and Canada were playing for gold. But when USA won, I will say that something clicked in my brain. This was different, and it was more meaningful than even I could have realized. Because when the NHL players were on the roster, I really thought, you know what? This will not be surprising at all. USA or Canada or Finland or Sweden, give me a break. They just stacked the best players in the world on those rosters. 25 of 25 were all in the NHL. And yet, when it actually happened, you realize, no, USA is not as good as Canada.
That's right.
They're not. And in Cappy, you just said it. The line of Macklin, McKinnon, McDavid, and McCarr was also on that line. So really the Mac line for Canada, that might be the greatest line assembled since Curry and Messier and Gretzky all played for the Oilers. I mean, it is that good.
Samboni, the McDavid, there was one play in particular, everybody will know exactly the play I'm talking about. McDavid gets essentially what looks like it's going to be a breakaway.
Yes.
And you're talking about the best player on the planet. And unfortunately for him, fortunately for us that we're rooting for the U.S., there was just enough space between McDavid and our keeper that he could not get his stick on the puck, and he couldn't get off like a legit shot. And there was a defenseman chasing him and pursuing, but because of the defenseman, because of where the puck was, because where Hellebuck was, and he's a big dude, by the way, and he takes up a lot of space inside the crease, McDavid could never actually get off the shot.
And did you see that one actually ended up rolling all the way up Hellebuck's stick? It hit the knob at the end of his stick, and then McDavid even got one more whack at it, and still it was out. It was out of the net.
Knob, stick, whack. Oh, beautiful, man.
And
that's
Samboni,
beautiful.
There was another. There was a chance for Canada who had the player was on the right side of the keeper.
Yes,
and he had pretty much the whole goal, and he missed completely. Like, just totally missed. And so there were so many opportunities for Canada to go up and win that game, and the U.S. just kept battling. Listen, they got lucky a couple of times. There was that one save by Hellebuck where you're like, the puck is behind him, and somehow it hit off the stick, right?
Sedano said it. I mean, there's a part of that, yes. I mean, the technique for a goalie in that situation is you reach back with the paddle of your stick. But you're doing that blind.
Yep,
totally. There's no way to see exactly what's happening there, but the instinct is that you are going back, and he got it in the crook of his stick, exactly the only place that you really can.
Yeah.
And it worked, and you've seen that. I mean, it's not the first time I've seen a type of save that way, but considering what the moment was, you could argue that's the greatest save in the history of hockey.
Well, and then let me tell you something. You talk about a great goal. The Canadian offenseman who was it Maker? Is that his name?
McCarr.
Excuse me. That guy is a right-handed shot.
Yes.
And he is on the far right side of the keeper and has to go over his shoulder to get it in from the far post. It was a spectacular shot, given that he's a righty, not a lefty on the right side, and was able to get that puck in. I mean, it was a spectacular, amazing shot.
By the way, to jump in here real quick, Mario Ruiz. Hey, it's me, Mario. He will join us at 9:40 this morning to talk about LAFC taking down Messi and Inter Miami. He also made his debut with his own solo show. The Mario Ruiz program, Countdown to Kickoff, presented by BMO, was Saturday at 5:30 p.m. What an amazing piece of content.
And by the way, Chris Morales, CMM, do not go to that team store without Mario. He's got the BMO card to take care of things there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, definitely do. Yeah.
Did you buy that full price?
Yeah.
I did that once, and he's like, no, man. Yeah. That's not goody.
That's
not
batty.
goody.
That's batty. Yeah. That's not goody.
Sedano gave us a wry laugh there.
I would like to know Sedano's greatest takeaway here. I've heard a lot of Cappies, and the Jewish Brothers is great with the Hughes. But Sedano, you I would say over the course of 3 weeks, you watched more hockey, concentrated over 3 weeks than maybe you ever had. And that's not a knock. I think a lot of people are in that category. But for you overall, what was the takeaway to really see it all come together the way that it did yesterday?
Well, I would say that ultimately that in a tournament-style scenario, right, where you have eventually you get to an elimination round and it's 1-1, similarly to like the NCAA tournament in a lot of ways, right? It's not necessarily always about the best team on paper, right? And Canada was clearly the best team on paper, okay? And it's about what team coalesces at the right time. And we've seen Cinderella runs, and I'm not saying the U.S. is Cinderella because, to your point, everybody's an NHL player on the team, right? But like comparatively speaking, they're a level below. You know what I'm saying? Like it is a bit of an upset. I don't know. What was the line on the game? Do you know?
So I don't remember what the line was. I only know this definitively.
I could probably look
Canada, we can look that up. Canada was definitively the favorite going in. Again, not shocking, George, but I also want to remind everybody a couple of things. So I said this on Friday, not the little engine that could, right? USA, this is not Lake Placid. This is not 1980. The difference between Mike Eruzione and the Hughes brothers, this is not even questionable how different the skill set is there, all right? These are the top players in the world, minus maybe 5 dudes on Canada who are largely better collectively.
Slight favorite, by the way.
Okay.
Minus 125.
So you're right. So not much. The game unfolded much as it should have. What's interesting here is, George, you were actually shockingly good at roster construction heading into this. You asked about certain players that were off of this roster, and I told you Bill Guerin is the guy that put together the U.S. roster.
Right.
And one of these that was interesting, because you asked about Cole Caulfield and other guys that were not on this roster.
Right.
What's interesting is they decided to take a couple of guys that are considered penalty killers instead of Caulfield and others. How many power play goals did the U.S. allow in the entire tournament?
0.
That is unbelievable.
Especially with what happened yesterday where they had the 5-on-3.
Yeah. It's unreal that happened over the course of a tournament.
Yeah.
So the other thing that stood out to me was I loved how the Hughes brothers took up for Austin Matthews in the postgame.
Yes. Thank
you. Austin Matthews, you want to talk about Cappy, someone that, he's my favorite hockey player for obvious reasons. I mean, he's a Hispanic kid. Grew up in Arizona, half Mexican kid. Mom and dad met, they both worked for an airline. Dad was a pilot, mom was a flight attendant, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Here's this half Mexican kid in Arizona growing up to be one of the best hockey players in the world, right? And I loved that they took up for him. And, because he's taken plenty of grief both as the captain of Team USA and certainly as the captain of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Okay, so he gets labeled a guy who can't win the big one, this, that, and the other. So for him, I think it's a huge, monkey off his back to be the captain of this, team and be one of the centerpieces of this team. And he had an excellent tournament too, on top of that.
Yes.
To be the guy to get some love in this scenario. Because look, let's face it, the Toronto Maple Leafs are, I don't want to call them the Cubs necessarily.
You're
close.
You're close.
Right. It's close. They're better historically than the Cubs as in regards to their regular season output. But the longevity of how long they've been waiting is in the ballpark, is what I would call it.
And George, minus the championships, they're the Yankees of hockey.
Correct.
Toronto, there is no fan base.
Yeah. You know what? They're the Red Sox pre-2000.
There you go. Exactly that. Exactly that, George. This is the fact that Austin Matthews is an American kid playing for the most captaining the most quintessential Canadian franchise is really an epic story right there alone. And let's say a couple of things for Austin Matthews. So first of all, people criticize Austin Matthews because he hasn't been able to get the Maple Leafs to the Stanley Cup Final. Getting the Stanley Cup Final is difficult, obviously. They hadn't won a playoff series in decades. He's now done that for them. So they've at least made it to the second round, which they could not do without him. Also, let's look back to a game that he, quote-unquote, lost a year ago, the Four Nations game, which he lost to Canada when McDavid scored in overtime.
Right.
That game was 2-2 in overtime. Who had scored both goals for U.S.? Austin Matthews. And if not for an incredible Jordan Binnington-type Connor Hellebuck save in that game, Matthews wins that game in overtime also. Imagine had he scored a hat trick to beat Canada in that game, which he nearly did. So he was epic in that as well. This is such a moment for Matthews. There was a statistic after the Four Nations game. Matthews had lost winner go-home games in TD Garden, which is where that Four Nations final was. He had lost 4 of them. He had lost 3 times to the Bruins in Game 7, or Game 5, actually. It was technically a Game 5 and a best of 5, and then 2 Game 7s, and then the final match of the Four Nations as well. So it was, you can stack up whatever you want against somebody, much like the conversation between George and CMN regarding J.J. Redick. You can parse it however you'd like. Austin Matthews has done more for Toronto than anyone has in decades. So this is nice. But the fact that he gets to wear this gold and know that he was such a huge part of this story, I'm so glad that they spoke about him the way that they did. Because
so when Jack Hughes, to your point, said, I don't think I think it doesn't matter what anyone says now, Austin Matthews is a winner.
Yes.
That's huge. And then his brother adds, that's what the media should be talking about. Austin Matthews led us to a championship.
And how about, by the way, just Jack Hughes after the game, like the very first interview, the first thing he does is talk about his love for America. And I know that during the Olympics, a lot of times people use their platform to make political statements. By the way, this is not new. This is not 2026. This has been going on forever in the Olympics, where Olympic athletes use their platform to make a political statement. And I know it turns a lot of people off, and I see a lot of chatter on social media about, an athlete who says, well, I'm proud of to be a U.S. citizen, but I'm embarrassed by what we're doing. Okay, fine. Everybody's got a political opinion. But to have Jack Hughes, a 24-year-old child, by the way, he's a little kid. He's 24 years old. To immediately jump into the U.S. broadcast and talk about how proud he is to be an American, how proud he is to be part of USA Hockey, to talk about the brotherhood that USA Hockey had created. And here's the last thing, Samboni, for me. You talk about takeaways, right? Let me tell you about takeaways. The one thing I will always take away from the remainder from when these guys were on the ice and they went over and they got the 2 children of the 2, and I hope I'm pronouncing their last name right, Gaudreau, is that how you pronounce it?
Yes, Johnny Gaudreau. He was nicknamed Johnny Hockey, if you want to make it simpler for yourself.
These 2 brothers, people will remember the story. These 2 brothers, the season had ended. They were out cycling, so that's their exercise. That's their form of training. The 2 brothers, 2 NHL players, they're riding their bikes on the road, and a drunk driver hits them and kills both of them on the spot. These are 2 NHL players that both get killed in a biking accident. And for the USA players to grab the jersey, because they had the jersey with them the entire time with his name on the back of it, to go grab their children from the stands and bring their kids and the jersey onto the ice for the team picture. I mean, you talk about the emotion of all of this. It wasn't just 46 years to the day of 1980, Do You Believe in Miracles? Most of the people who are listening weren't even alive in 1980.
Where's
I remember
the Radio
being a little
Rinaldi
kid.
music on this?
Seriously, and I've got another. Keep going, Cappy.
And I was a 10-year-old kid, and I remember it, honestly. It's one of those seminal moments in your life, one of those defining moments in your life where you're a little kid, and it's like Mike Tirico said after the game yesterday. This team, 2026, will impact the next generation. Well, in 1980, many of us were impacted. Not that we became NHL players, but we had this pride in America. And not only that, but we also saw what heroics in sports looked like. And we all dreamt of having that sort of moment. For the U.S. team to have this guy, the Gaudreau jersey, to bring their 2 kids onto the ice, to take those pictures with those little kids, it was a thing of absolute sports heroic beauty.
And let me add one more thing to this, Cappy, and we can keep the music going for this one. You mentioned they were out riding their bike and killed by the drunk driver.
Mm-hmm.
It was on the Friday of the weekend their sister was getting married.
Right.
She was getting married that Saturday.
Yep.
So that, you can't even obviously imagine the phone call that you're never expecting on that weekend. It's just, it brings it full circle, and I'm so glad that became part of the story in the end, because the Gaudreau brothers certainly, and Johnny was training to be a part of this team. So really beautiful in regards to that, and just what a moment. And Tkachuk and Gaudreau played in Calgary together, so there was that. Matt Tkachuk, that is. So there was really that connection as well. Yeah, it's a special story. And one other thing, and now we can segue from the music here to mention one other thing, because there's just two things I want to say before we get out of here on this. Number one is Connor Hellebuck. And you guys have been saying his name correctly, okay? And so go with that. The spelling is another thing. For the spelling bee, there is a Y in there somewhere, so beware of that. But Connor Hellebuck, before, again, I keep saying it's not the little engine that could. Do you know who Connor Hellebuck is in NHL circles?
Well, wasn't he also an MVP at one time?
He's the reigning MVP.
Yeah, right.
He's the actual current technical MVP of this league. The Winnipeg Jets won the President's Trophy last season. That's his team. That's the team he's actually goalie for. They had the most points in hockey a year ago. Now, they got upset in the playoffs, but he was the goalie. The goalie doesn't win the Hart Trophy, the MVP, very often, but he did it last season over guys like Leon Draisaitl of the Oilers and Nathan McKinnon from Colorado and Nikita Kucherov from Tampa Bay. Connor Hellebuck is the reigning Vezina Trophy winner. He's won that 3 times, best goalie, and he's the MVP. The other thing is, you guys brought up the John Cooper sound. I don't know if you want to play it again or if you just want to reset what it is. John Cooper was upset for
He's
Canada,
a Canadian coach.
And I love that Bergman called him out. Bergman, I love that you said, John Cooper, commit to being mad. Don't politely get mad in life. You know, when you get mad, I want to know you're mad. I don't want you to be mad and then put your arm around me. Like, let's really get after this. And what's he going to get fined by the Olympic Federation at this point? It's not going to cost him anything for 4
years. The IOC is coming after him.
Yeah, like go ahead and lay in if you really have an issue with the rules. And essentially what he's saying is that 3-on-3 cost this team. He's saying that if not for the overtime configuration, Canada wins this game. I'll say 2 things. Number one, he's right. 5-on-5, USA loses this game. 5-on-5, you said it, Cappy. After that 5-on-3, the ice was so tilted towards Canada. That's where Hellebuck was really getting the onslaught of shots at that point. They never really truly recovered from that 5-on-3, catching their breath the rest of the game. However, they didn't let it crack through Hellebuck. And when it goes to overtime, it goes 3-on-3, and that gave USA the chance. And it was actually a great chance by the Canadians that turned the other way, so it was a 3-on-1 coming back the other way. But I got to give credit to the Olympics. The NHL should adopt this, and it hasn't been this configuration except for this year in this tournament. In the quarterfinals and the semifinals, they went from a 5-minute 3-on-3 to a 10-minute 3-on-3, and then in the gold medal, this happened for the USA and Canada in women's and men's, it was a 20-minute 3-on-3 that would have gone all day, all night had they needed it. And guess what? None of the games, and there were many games that went to overtime, none of them needed more than 6.5 minutes. And the NHL, if you want to get rid of the shootout and just slowly phase it out, put a 10-minute 3-on-3 overtime into all these games and then go to a shootout. Every single game will end in the 3-on-3. You saw how quickly it ended yesterday because 3-on-3 is furious back and forth action. And you said it, Cappy. How exciting was it? Not settle in. We're going to go 3 and 4 overtimes here. No. Get everyone you know that's not watching the game and tell them, give me 5 minutes. That's all I need of your time. I need 5 minutes for you to watch USA win gold or silver. It's going to happen in the next 5 minutes. You can guarantee. And that's exactly what happened. And that's why 3-on-3 is beautiful. And this game needs to lean into that. And the Canadians should understand that. You want this game to be more popular in the United States? It happened because of 3-on-3 yesterday.
Yeah, I think this, and I was saying this to George earlier, now the Kings, Samboni, they've got a massive homestand coming up. It's like 6 straight games at home over the course of like the next 10, 11 days. And if this season is going to get turned around, it's got to happen during this homestand. And the other thing is I will say this, I don't know how everybody else feels about it, but I will be more into the NHL, not just the Kings. I will be more into the NHL as a byproduct of the U.S. winning this gold medal. Because now I've got this list of guys, from Hughes to McAvoy to Hanifin to Faber to Sanderson, et cetera, et cetera. I've got this list of guys, Zach Werenski. I've got all these guys who I, frankly, didn't really know that much about. But now they're USA gold medal winning champions. It was 46 years to the day from when I was a little kid listening to Al Michaels say, do you believe in miracles? Yes. And now I've got this whole new set of heroes. But remember, when the Olympians won in 1980, there were only a few of those guys that were NHL players.
Oh, yeah. And listen to this, Cappy and Sedano. This is a good one. Sedano, you've told the Kings to go out and do one thing, and that's what? Beat the Oilers, right? Beat the Oilers. We're talking 4 straight seasons they've lost the Oilers in the first round of the playoffs. The guy to remember from this tournament is the guy that actually won the MVP of this tournament. He was wearing a silver, not a gold medal yesterday.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
Connor McDavid, 2 years ago in the Stanley Cup Final, he won the Conn Smythe. That's essentially the MOP. It's not the same as Super Bowl MVP because it's the best player of the tournament, of all the playoffs.
Yeah.
Connor McDavid won the Conn Smythe 2 years ago and lost Game 7 to the Panthers. And yesterday, the same thing happened. As a runner-up, he wins the player of the tournament. Can I tell you somebody who is absolutely going to be on fire? He's already far and away the best player in hockey overall, and this season he's having a ridiculous one. He is scorched earth after everybody now to win the Stanley Cup this season. And he even lost yesterday to Matt Tkachuk again. Tkachuk has beaten him 2 years in a row in the Stanley Cup Final with the Panthers, and then again for gold yesterday. Connor McDavid and the Kings will host the Oilers this Thursday. That's the game, Cappy. You want to know if the Kings are going to make the playoffs, if the Kings are going to be something?
Mm-hmm.
That game, Thursday, with Breadman Panarin, that is the game to watch to see what the Kings have. McDavid is absolutely going for it now. Not that he hasn't always, but trust me, he didn't enjoy being told you're the best player in this tournament, and you lost.
And you'll hear that game on the ESPN LA app, and afterwards, Kings Talk with Samboni. Thank you, Samboni. Take the rest of Monday off, please.
We love you, pal.
It's 9:30, time for the Lindsay segment, which we do each weekday at this time. Thanks to our friends at Hernandez Wholesale Flooring. We like to play a TV theme. Yesterday, February 22nd, was Steve Irwin's birthday. We lost him in 2006. He was the crocodile hunter. He also did a show on Discovery Kids called Croc Files. Did he get eaten by a croc?
No, he got stung by a manta ray, didn't he? Is that how he died?
I don't know.
That's what happened, yeah.
It is.
Hernandez Wholesale Flooring, making the Lindsay segment possible. If you're in the market for new flooring, shop at Hernandez Wholesale Flooring, where every day is a deal. No gimmicks. Call 866-62-FLOOR, F-L-O-O-R, or go to HernandezWholesaleFlooring.net. No sale beats wholesale. Time for the Lindsay segment. You can follow her at Lindsay Baseball on Twitter or Instagram. Take it away, producer Lindsay.
Thanks, Christopher. All right, before I get to my planned Lindsay segment bits, if you will, Cappy, George, are you guys familiar at all with Tate McRae, the pop singer?
No. Now, isn't Tate McRae, check me on this,
she's like
isn't
the
she
Olivia
like a big,
Rodrigo of Canada.
Yeah, she's like a big star in Canada, and my understanding is...
And here. She's a pretty big star here.
Okay,
there.
I don't know her music, but my understanding is that Jack Hughes, the Olympic gold medal, champion now, and the guy who scored the game winner, they're like a couple. Like so now
they've been dating.
Not only does he have the gold that he took from Canada, but he's also got like their hottest pop star as his girlfriend. Is that right?
That's correct. And what's funny is right before the Olympics, back in like early January, this video came out, and it was like her doing promotional videos, like promoting the upcoming Olympics on NBC. And I'm pretty sure that it was like for NBC, but people in Canada were furious. They're like, oh my God, you're Canadian. How can you be wearing Team USA gear and promoting the Olympics on NBC in America? Oh, this is terrible. We're going to disown you. And then it comes out right around the same time that she's dating a Team USA hockey player. Ooh. And so now people are like even more salty because it's like, yep, we stole your girl and your medal and your sport.
And it's not like she's dating Quinn Hughes, who at least played in Vancouver before he got traded to Minnesota, but she's dating an American hockey player who plays for the New Jersey Devils. So
she's great. Listen to her music. Tate McRae.
McRae.
She's awesome. She's a great dancer too. All right, so anyway, you guys were talking about the Genesis, and I know Christopher was there over the weekend. Also, the Lakers were there. I guess JJ took them there, and Rob Pelinka, and they had, got to meet with Tiger and talk to Tiger because it's his tournament. But Tiger also spent a good amount of time in the booth with Jim Nantz and Trevor Immelman. And on Saturday, they're talking for a good maybe 30 minutes or so, and they brought up the Masters to Tiger.
And, of course, McIlroy will defend. Scotty will be there. Anybody else who might be playing this year?
I know I'll be there. We're going to open up the patch, and Trev and I are going to be being part of a great dinner.
I didn't ask specifically about you. I just thought maybe you knew someone, though, that might play.
Yeah, absolutely. I know a lot of people are playing.
Is there a possibility that you can get out there?
There is.
That's exciting.
Would you play a tournament before that?
I don't know. I don't know whether it's regular tour, senior tour, or member guest. I don't know.
Member guest. You need a guest?
How great would it be to be his guest? So do you guys think there's any chance Tiger's playing, like, honestly, truthfully, realistically? Cappy, do you think he's playing in the Masters?
I do.
Oh, wow.
I think Tiger will play, not because he's going to play to win. I think he's going to play because of the ceremony, the symbolism, what Tiger has meant to the sport. He understands that better now at 50 years old than he probably ever has before. And I think Tiger Woods can and will play. I don't think he's going to compete. I don't know that he even makes it past the first couple of rounds. But I would say that Tiger Woods will play in the Masters this year. Just a guess.
He only plays to win.
Well,
Yeah,
back
but
in the day.
I think he's at a different stage at his life. And look, if he could just make the cut and be in it over the weekend, I think that's a huge, huge boost for golf.
I agree. And by the way, can I just say one thing, Chris? I know you were out there all weekend. I watched a lot of the Genesis this past weekend, and it looked like the kid who wound up winning, Bridgman,
Jacob Bridgman.
It looked like he was like 18 under-ish, and he's playing with Rory, and Rory was like 14 or 15 under. And I'm like, you know what? There's 4 holes to go. This isn't quite over yet, because who knows if this kid is going to be able to handle the pressure down the stretch. And then it wasn't even Rory who did finish in second place at 17 under, but it was really a guy who had finished before him. I don't know the player. Kitayama?
Yeah, Kitayama.
Yeah, I've
Local
never
kid.
heard of him.
Well, not that local. Chico, California, Northern California.
But he actually was the one who applied a lot of pressure.
And by the way, he missed a birdie on 14 that would have made it tight. And he would have tied Bridgman through the last few holes, so it would have been a little bit more interesting. McIlroy, by the way, birdieing on 18, and we were on the fairway at 18 when that happened, place roared. He made an extra $1 million by making that birdie.
Oh, wow.
So the winner, Jacob Bridgman, took home $4 million.
Right.
And Rory made, I think, 2.5 being in second place.
Yeah, 1.8 is what the number was. But listen to this. How about Rory? Was it the 12th hole where he's in the bunker and he chips one out and he puts it right in? That was a spectacular shot. And then who was it that had the hole-in-one that was amazing?
Max Greiserman. Chris saw it.
I was there. That was where the Bluffs, our hospitality, was on hole 14. And the place roared. And it was fun because, you didn't know who the guy was. But he knocks down a hole-in-one, and everyone's applauding as he walks by. It was really cool.
He won a car.
That was cool.
The great thing about the Genesis Invitational, when we were there broadcasting live Friday afternoon, I was there with Stephanie Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's a great place to be. And even if you're not a golf fan, Riviera makes it very warm and welcoming to all fans. And a lot of our fans walk by, say ESPN LA, Morales, Travis, people were coming up to us and said, hey, where's DeMarco? A lot of normal people, and I use that catchphrase, normal people, meaning not hardcore golf fans, come on out to Riviera because it's something fun to do. It's cost-effective if you want to walk the course and have fun with your family over the weekend. It's beautiful. Thursday was very cold. Friday was a little better because Thursday had rain. But Saturday and Sunday were absolutely gorgeous days in the Pacific Palisades at Riviera. So it was beautiful.
And it was great to have it back where it belongs at Riviera after what happened last year with the fires. But it was actually for a weekend that had so many things going on. From the finish of the Olympics to we talk about the Lakers on Friday night and then on Sunday. Haven't even gotten to UCLA basketball, which I know I got to make a comment on at some point today.
Yeah, big win.
With all the things that were going on this weekend, you might think that a PGA Tour event like the Genesis wouldn't make it onto a lot of people's radars, but I watched a ton of the Genesis this weekend, and I just thought about all these people on the East Coast of the United States preparing for 20-plus inches of snow, watching Jim Nance and watching that CBS broadcast and going, I got to get out there, man. It's summertime in Southern California.
And by the way, in person, watching Rory play a lot of the day over the last 2 days, he's got a great tuchus in person.
Oh, yeah.
That kid makes that tuchus move, that golf ball.
Oh, dude.
God, he's got so much lower body power. Oh.
And what was the other guy? We mentioned there was the hole-in-one. We mentioned
Tommy
Rory.
Fleetwood got an eagle.
Yeah,
Tommy
that was
Fleetwood
got an eagle?
Dude, he dunked that ball. That ball did not hit the green and roll in, or didn't hit the green and roll back in. That ball legitimately hit the cup. I mean, there were some really spectacular shots. Congratulations to our partners at the Genesis. That was a great event this weekend. I wasn't there, but I was watching on TV, and I got to see it the way the rest of the country did. Awesome, amazing job.
There's early talks already from Genesis, the people at Genesis, and Travis Matthew, that they want to expand for next year. Could there be a morning show remote as part of that?
I would do it in a heartbeat, an absolute heartbeat. Set us up at the practice green and
they're
put
not
us
going
on
to have
there.
us on the practice screen.
No, that's where you do it.
No,
that's
they're
where
not
you
going to
go.
do that.
Yeah, that's where we should be.
No.
Hey, Tiger, hey, come on over here and sit down, Tiger. Before you get to dance, come sit down. Come sit down with us.
9:40 in the morning. Thank you, Lindsay, for the Lindsay segment. Powered by Hernandez Wholesale Flooring. Right now, though, another big moment for Southern California sports over the weekend was an event that we all, when it popped up, that LAFC was going to open the season officially at the Coliseum, playing Messi. Oh, Matt. Well, that's Travis's bit to do the Messi voice. And Inter Miami on Saturday night. 75,000 plus fans were at the Coliseum for this one. And the great Mario Ruiz, our LAFC expert, joins us now on the Sedano and Kap Morning Show. Good morning, Mario.
What's goody? What's goody?
Yo, what's goody?
By the way, he's on the satellite phone. That sounds good.
I see him on YouTube. I don't hear him quite yet. What's goody? What's goody, Mario? Yeah.
No,
yeah.
Don't hear him.
Yeah.
See him talking.
Yeah. Here's what I think's happening, George. Let me just give you my technical perspective.
Oh, let me hear it. Yeah, because
you
we
know
know
that I'm not
you
good.
are the technical guru.
You know I'm not good with tech, but here's what I think's happening. I think Mario has a computer in front of him or an iPad, and we're able to see him on YouTube.
He should just call in, probably.
But then I don't think he's actually called into the show.
Something happened technically.
Something happens when you got to use two phones to get on one
like
show.
Friday when I joined you guys
Kaplan.
from Riviera, I had Lucas shooting on YouTube, but I was on my phone on the AirPods.
Right, and that's
you
what I
need
think
two
Mario's
devices.
doing. Yes, you got to have two devices to get on this show. This show is so big.
Just like you probably used two devices over the weekend, Cappy, I'm guessing.
We should just
new ones.
Or we should just come, and get technology that allows us
Not
to
going to
just
happen
use one
anytime in the next 5 years.
We've already been
I can
told.
guarantee you that.
5 years?
We were told. We were told no technology
Because Chicago
for you.
just did a whole rebuild, and the chance of it happening at this building, which we are going to be here long term, we'd have to move floors, and that's not going to happen anytime soon.
Okay, so
5 years? I mean,
Probably.
what is this, Tulsa? We're not even in Chicago. We're a bigger market than Chicago.
I understand. They had a different lease situation than us.
So it's going to take 5 years, really.
I mean, by then we'll be on to different technology. So it
Hey,
won't
we
matter.
finally all caught up, everybody.
Yeah.
Well, I will say this. I would like to talk to Mario for this reason. So I watched, again, this was an amazing sports weekend. I watched on Apple TV this LAFC game against Inter Miami. And I will admit, I didn't watch the whole thing because I had gone out to a dinner on a Saturday night with a bunch of friends who I hadn't seen in a long time. And we were doing a little post-birthday celebration. We had a bunch of people whose birthday it was in February.
Yeah, man, I know this show. Yeah, the LA show's different than the San Diego thing, but I'm still the star. You got to understand, I just play along with Sedano and Morales, but I'm still the guy. So don't worry, guys. I'm still the guy.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. Nonetheless,
Just
I was
probably
watching.
what you have to tell your San Diego friends to get through the meal.
No, they're completely have zero exposure to you.
Okay.
None, zero. Yeah. You couldn't hang with this group. They wouldn't. You just, this is not for you. You know.
Okay.
Anyway, I was watching the LAFC Inter Miami game, mostly because I wanted to see what it looked like at the Coliseum. So I'll defer to Jorge Briones. Jorge, I know you were there. You took Maite as well. Is that right?
I did, yeah. So she wanted to go to the game. She's been asking me since the first time Messi came out here. I managed to buy him tickets. Her, Brenda, the kids. And then she was excited. You know, at the end she was a little sad because, to her words, oh, Messi didn't score. But that's a good thing. Messi hasn't scored the 3 times he's been here to play against LAFC. You know, like they've been able to control him and because covering a guy like that is not easy, But 75,000 plus is just incredible. Like I've been at all 3 games, but this by far was the biggest one to cover.
And the thing is that it's one thing if Inter Miami comes out and they play at BMO, and you've got 25,000 or whatever it is, and the place is standing room only, and it's jam packed, and it's an awesome environment. You see, if Mexico were playing the U.S. in a friendly, and you told me that there were 75,000 people at the Coliseum, I'd be like, right. But an MLS game.
That's right. Well, it's Sonny, son from LAFC and Messi, so it's like you got 2 superstars in the mega market, as you call it. Dude, it's going to be 75,000 plus.
And I thought Sonny had a chance early in the game.
He did,
because
very early on.
Because there was a penalty just ever so slightly outside the box. And I thought that we might be looking at a PK. But it was just ever so slightly outside the box. And you know what I love, Jorge? I love when you create a wall now to take on a shot.
And you see the guy laying on the floor?
Right. I love the guy that lays on the ground because everybody's going to jump up. And if the ball stays on the ground, he's down there to take to absorb the shot. So I was watching mostly because I wanted to see what does the Coliseum look like when there's 75,000 people in there, not for a soccer match, for an MLS game. And it was awesome.
Hey, Now I'm here. Mario Ruiz now joins us, not by the satellite phone, but on the regular phone. Good morning, Mario.
What's up, guys? What a truly just a memorable night at the Coliseum. And it's going to be a night to remember for LAFC fans for a very long time. Take it down Messi like that, 3-0. I mean, those were the defending champs. And it wasn't just Messi. I mean, they have a star-studded squad as well. So I think we all expected like a highly competitive match that night. And nobody really expected a 3-0 thrashing like that. But still, though, I have the ultimate respect for Messi. He's one of the greats, of course. I'm more of a Ronaldo guy, but I respect the greatness of Messi. And I'll tell you guys, like, when we were on the pitch, Briones was with me, actually. The whistle blows, and we're on the pitch, and we're going to get the walk-off interview. And I'm making a beeline straight for Ryan Porteous, who is the defender for LAFC. Mm-hmm. And I'm just focused on that. And I've got my questions in my head. And all of a sudden, Messi is just like walking straight towards me. So then all of a sudden, I lose my focus on the questions, on who I'm going for, the interview, and I just soak it all in. Honestly, guys, I just had to soak it all in. And I just stopped, and I said, wow, this is greatness walking right here in front of me. And I just soaked it in for a couple seconds. And then I went on with the interview, and what a night, though. Yeah, guys, it was awesome.
Mario, not just greatness walking at you, but here comes Messi walking at you. Not even in BMO. Mm-hmm. This is on the field at the Coliseum where the MLS, not 23,000 or 25,000 or 35,000 in a 75,000 seat stadium. This is 75,000 soccer fans at an MLS game. As I was saying to Briones before you came on, if it was a Mexico-USA friendly, I'd go, yeah, 75,000 in the Coliseum. I get it. But an MLS game, it's listen, We've seen the growth of MLS over the last 30 years in this country, but who knew that Messi would be on the field in front of 75,000 people in downtown LA? It was incredible to see.
And Mario, you know what was crazy though? Messi got booed like crazy every time he went for a corner kick. He was getting booed.
Good,
and that kind of shocked me because I expected a little bit more pink in the stadium, but it was all black T-shirts. As a matter of fact, one of the times that he went into the corner, it got so loud, and Denholm, like, looked at me, our play-by-play guy. He looked at me. We're in the booth, and he's like, wow, they're, like, booing Messi. And so Denholm goes, this is an LAFC crowd. This is Los Angeles, baby. He was just so into it. I mean, I haven't seen the Coliseum like that, especially for a soccer match, you know. Like you said, over 76,000 people there, and there wasn't too much pink in there, which made me so proud.
Well, and that was going to be my point, was just that it seemed overwhelmingly partisan in regards to the home team, which is a great thing. That's what you want. That's if you're the MLS, this is a perfect example of why what I think is your leading franchise, and this is no disrespect to Messi because clearly they've been, I mean, you mentioned it, he's a literal living legend in the sport. But their leading franchise, their crown jewel is LAFC, in my opinion. And that's not disrespectful to the teams that came before them because there were plenty of teams that set them up for success. Now that, especially that they've expanded to 30 teams and the league is very healthy. And by the way, they can sustain the 30 teams, in my opinion. That to me is as important as anything. But LAFC has become that team where they are the team that will carry the sport moving forward. And I think this weekend was a perfect example of that.
Yeah, and LAFC is now a perfect 9-0 in LAFC home openers. And Messi, when he comes here to LA, he has not scored yet. He has not scored in Los Angeles against LAFC. And for LAFC just to dominate like that, it just goes to show how LAFC's new head coach, Mark Dos Santos, is really showing us exactly what type of style he's going to play. He's going to show us the identity that he wants this team to have, and that is to thrash teams, to just knock teams, get as many goals as possible. Last year, it was Steve Cherundolo was the head coach, very defensive. Steve Cherundolo was the guy that I kind of compare him to like a Floyd Mayweather type of style where he'd be defensive but totally controlling the whole match. He'll let the other team have the ball, have possession, but, you're not going to get a good, clean shot on LAFC, and LAFC is going to win in a professional manner 1-0. But this year, with Marc Dos Santos taking over, he wants to just dominate teams. He wants to just blast right through them, and that's now 9 goals in just 2 matches for LAFC. The CONCACAF Champions game that they played over in Honduras, 6 goals, and now 3 goals in this one against Inter Miami. Not bad for Marc Dos Santos and his new start here as LAFC head coach.
Yeah, and I want to point this out because the style of ball is definitely going to be something that's going to be more attractive. And Cappy, this is something that kind of flew under the radar, and I'm sure Mario can speak more about it. It is now more accessible to watch the MLS in a way that it wasn't previously. Because I don't know if you saw this back in the wintertime, they reported that the Apple deal previously that they did, I think they signed a $2.5 billion deal for 10 years with Apple. It was kind of restrictive. I almost felt like while the money was impressive and they needed to take it, it really didn't allow, in my opinion, the sport to grow in a way that it would grow if it was on over-the-air television or even cable or whatnot. But now they've changed the way this works because it used to be you had an Apple subscription, right? Like Apple TV or whatever, and you could watch.
Season Pass, they called it.
Yeah, but you could, if you just had a regular Apple subscription, you could watch like their shows, The Morning Show or Ted Lasso or whatever. But to Briones' point, you had to pay an extra $99, right, to watch the MLS. Well, now that's changed. Now all you have to have is an Apple subscription, and you can watch the MLS. So, Cappy, if you're watching The Morning Show or Ted Lasso or anything else on Apple TV right now, you can now watch LAFC and every MLS match in a more accessible way. Mario, I have that right?
Yes. No more double paywall is what they would call it, right? Mm-hmm. That was just a killer for a lot of just casual fans that have already, Apple Plus. They could just watch that. But now it's so easy for fans to catch it because everybody has Apple Plus, So, and one of the things that was really cool, walking around the stadium, let me just tell you guys this story. Me and Briones and Denholm were walking around the stadium. We're prepping the match, our broadcast. We're going down to the field. We're getting pregame content and stuff. And as we're doing that, I noticed blaring through the speakers of the Coliseum. I'm talking about all over the bathroom where the concessions are at. The new show that I'm hosting, Countdown to Kickoff, presented by BMO, is blasting through the speakers. And I was like, oh, man, this is a pretty cool moment here. Yeah,
that's awesome, bro. It's awesome.
And then I have people texting me. I have my wife. She's like, I just took our son to the bathroom, and he heard your show in the bathroom while he's doing his business.
Awesome.
That's
like
awesome.
A cool
That's
moment.
great, Mario.
Awesome.
Hey, and you got 75,000 plus there. You're in the Coliseum. I just have one last question. Did Delholm, did he go crazy with Bouanga? When Bouanga scored, did he go absolutely nuts? Did he go crazy?
Oh, of course. He goes nuts every single time. I mean, those 3 really, really good goals. And Bouanga's going to do his thing. He's off to a great start already. Bouanga, he got 3 goals in the first match in the CONCACAF Champions Cup match over in Honduras. He got a goal here, almost had 2. But then the youngster from Venezuela, David Martinez, they actually call him La Joya de Venezuela, the jewel of Venezuela. He's only 18 years old. He's a young sensation that Arsenal was going after, but he chose to come here to LAFC. And he made the right move because he's played with so many legends and so many greats. He played with Giroud here. He played with Chiellini here, Vela here, Bouanga, Lloris, all these guys. He's gaining all this experience from these guys. And eventually he will make the jump over to Europe. But this is what football is about, is going to the right team, right club, so that you can make your next move the bigger and better move. But David Martinez is a guy that is getting his shots. He's getting the minutes. He's getting the start under head coach Marc Dos Santos. Marc Dos Santos is showing a lot of faith in this young, talented guy from Venezuela, David Martinez. Get ready to hear that name, along with, of course, Son Heung-min and Denis Bouanga.
So let's play the highlight. You referenced it, Cappy and Mario, of Dave Denholm on the call Saturday night here on ESPN LA.
Noah Allen, early crossing, headed away strong by Porteous to Son. Son knocks it down there. Swanier out wide. Tillman, long ball down the middle. Denis trying to make a run. Sinclair comes off his line. Denis heads it around. St. Clair in the air. Denis finishes it off. Oh, it's a goal! Take a flip and then a bound. Denis Bouanga, it's 2-0. Jump for LA Football Club. Denis! Long ball out of midfield. Bouanga got there before St. Clair. Headed it around the stranded keeper and slotted it home. Denis Bouanga with his first. LAFC's second. It's 2-0 at the Coliseum. It's the 74th minute, and Inter Miami look messy with a Y tonight.
Awesome stuff.
Nicely done by Dave Denholm on ESPN LA.
Also, Mario, don't forget how 75,000 people were chanting 3-0 towards the end of the game. Oh, that was insane.
3-0, 3-0, 3-0, 3-0. It was awesome.
So I have one last question before you go, Mario, and it's actually to Cappy. Cappy, do you have an Apple TV subscription?
Remarkably, I do.
Okay.
I do. However, two things can
you
be
don't
true
know
at once.
how to use it.
Two things can be true at once. I can use it on my phone, which is where I was watching the game, but I can't figure out how to get it on my TV.
Oh, come on, man.
Yeah, I know. I don't know.
It's so easy.
They literally put up a QR code and ask you if you want to sign in with your phone.
Yeah,
Lindsay,
it's really easy.
Lindsay, I'm telling you, it's got something to do with having two different email addresses.
Well, that's why.
And then not knowing which one. In fact, I had somebody gave me a gift this past weekend. For you guys know Masterclass. We always reference Masterclass.
Yeah.
Well, there's all this great content. I went through the entire sign-up thing. I'm like, it still wants me to buy the membership. Turns out, for some reason, it was using my other email address. I mean, I am just a disaster. Absolute disaster.
Something's never changed with this guy. Jesus.
Straight up,
I know.
for real.
You see, Mario, you've been gone for a little bit, but it's true. It stays the same.
It's true. It's true.
Oh, my gosh.
Appreciate you, Mario.
So watch some LAFC now, Cappy. It's easy.
Oh, I watched on Saturday night. I couldn't wait to see what the Coliseum was going to look like. And I see myself, Mario, getting out to some LAFC games this season.
Okay. All right.
Let's do it. Of course, anytime, The invite is there for you, Cappy.
Well, I always appreciate your hospitality.
I thought you want to get some merch. Remember, you were going to ask about the merch.
Me?
Yeah, you said, "Hey, Mario's the guy."
I got my LAFC scarf, which I love, and my LAFC coffee mug. I got some merch going.
I mean, you can't bring the coffee mug to the stadium.
No, Sam Boney was saying if you're going to buy LAFC merch, you got to go with Mario to the LAFC store.
Mario got the deal.
He's got the BMO credit card.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thank you, Mario. Mario Ruiz.
All right, Mario, be good, bro.
Our LAFC
Appreciate you, bro.
insider.
Congrats, bro.
And expert.
Yep.
I love the way his impression of his wife was our impression of him. Hey, babe, I just heard you in the bathroom on the radio.
It is time as we wrap up the show for the Don't Sweat the Small Stuff calendar for Monday, February 23rd, 2026. Stress Busters. Not those busters, but Stress Busters. Begin your day by getting in a workout. It's a fact that being active increases your adrenaline, which gives you more energy. A 15-minute workout within the confines of your own home can be enough to recharge your batteries. Lifting hand weights or stretching with an exercise video can do wonders to increase your energy level, Cappy.
Christopher, I think that's great advice. I think a lot of us think we got to go spend an hour in the gym. You don't need an hour. Go for a walk for 15 minutes. Go in your garage and take a couple of dumbbells and just do a few things. Change everything. Change your whole day, man.
It is time for the Dealer's Choice Real Deal, brought to you by Sellers Advantage. Want to sell your house before you call an agent? Call Sellers Advantage. They'll buy it as is. With the competitive cash offer, no repairs needed. They make selling easy. Call 888-390-AS-IS for a no-obligation offer. Or visit sellersadvantage.com, DRE 0196-1658. Cappy, take it away today with your Dealer's Choice.
I'm going to make it quick, but I'm also going to say we didn't get to this today, so I got to at least make a comment. What a terrible, terrible, terrible win for UCLA basketball this past weekend over number 10 Illinois.
Why terrible?
That was a horrible win. Terrible.
What? Why? Because you wanted Mick Cronin fired?
Right.
Oh, yeah.
You listen. Here's what happens. You have that awful loss last week to Michigan State. You humiliate the player. The whole country is beating up on UCLA basketball. Cronin goes into total backpedal mode. Cronin goes into damage control mode. Oh, I apologize to the guy. I thought it was a dirty play. Bro, what are you watching? Oh, I'm short and somebody blocked me. I couldn't see that it wasn't a dirty play.
Why do we got to get into his height?
Well, because he brought it up.
Yeah.
He actually specifically said, I'm short and somebody was in front of me and it blocked me from seeing the play. And you humiliate this kid. You then go into a whole thing with this journalist who's there covering it. And then what happens is you turn around and you beat a nationally ranked team, a top 10 team. That's a terrible win for UCLA. Because when you win games like that, it makes the rest of us say, wait, weren't you good enough? Don't you have a roster to compete with those guys? And then you just won that game? If you want Mick Cronin gone, you don't want him winning games like that. Terrible win by UCLA.
I want them to win every game.
So you don't think that was a bad win?
No, absolutely not. I want them to win every game because it's about the letters on the front and the chest.
Oh, there you go, Greg.
Wow. You like that?
Wow.
See,
Yeah.
That's what it should
Let me
be.
ask
By
you
the
this.
way, it was.
By the way, are they back in the bubble?
So, yeah, very much back in the bubble. But at the same time, that was 4.9 seconds. You remember who was right around that?
Tyus Edney.
Tyus Edney, 4.8 seconds. It was the exact same thing. It was awesome.
Yeah.
And
Good for
want
you,
Mick Cronin-
Donovan Dent.
Well, I
Good
mean,
for
one
you,
of them was a
Donovan
little
Dent.
bit bigger stakes than the other. But
yes.
You want Mick Cronin to stay, Bergie?
I've been defending Mick Cronin for years. That was unacceptable, but I still believe in him.
Well, don't
listen,
you
the
see,
reality
though?
is he ain't going anywhere because they own too much money.
Right, they're too much.
So
but
you
I'm
might as
telling
well
you,
get some wins.
Yeah, well, bad win, UCLA. Terrible.
Great win.
Horrible.
Thank you for being with us on a Michael McDonald Monday. Great job by Michael McDonald yesterday at the Lakers game and the Pat Riley statue unveiling. Tomorrow, we'll be back at 7 a.m. for a Live Imaging Tuesday presented by Providence, and I'll figure out which way to annoy
Get him.
Sedano even
please
more.
Don't.
Yes, no,
Oh,
please
yeah, no,
do.
we're going to get you.
Please do.
Oh, my God.
So
All right, I'll
good.
get you.
I love when you scream, God damn it,
I
let
might
me
have to
talk.
Well, no, Mark Walter's going to make a J.J. Redick bobblehead to bring people in the door, and I
No,
will
for
bust that
40%
thing
Now
up.
you're ripping the new owner? He isn't even
No,
been
how's
2
that a
seconds.
rip?
Rip him. Rip
How's
him.
that ripping him? I
Get
said
him.
that's a good thing. He's going to make a bobblehead, and I'll bust that thing up. We'll see you tomorrow at 7 a.m. Have a great day, everyone.
Saying congratulations to Duke.
Wow. You all right?
I pulled something.
Okay.